Nick Roven and welcome to Oran Park in New South Wales for the 1993 Valvoline Grand Final of the Australian Truck Racing Challenge. That series is still well open. Also today you'll be seeing Holden HQs, SBRs and sports sedans. Plenty of great racing to thrill you, so let's get straight into the action. Well, once again at Oran Park, and this is the Coca-Cola Invitation Sprint on Grand Final day here for the truck racing, and the Coca-Cola Invitation Sprint sees Joey Scarcella off pole in truck number 40, Glenn Dobson in truck number 6, Steve Glover in truck 101, Graham Cook, Jerry Bajima in truck number 3, pole position 6 is Patapap, Brian Wilshire is on the grid in position number 7, Aaron Southhorn, Dennis Geyer, Lofty Richardson and Adrian Richardson. They make up the field here for the Coca-Cola Invitation Sprint, and as they make their slow crawl down the back straight ahead of them starting, we introduce you to Ross Allen on a nice day here at Oran Park. G'day Ross, how are you?
Absolute super day, and Grand Final brings out the best in everybody, and we're going to see some tremendous racing in this particular event with Joe Scarcella on pole. He'll be the man that they'll have to chase hard. Glenn Dobson will be the man that'll chase out after him early.
They'll make their slow crawl, and shortly the green light will go through and you'll see these 11 trucks sprint over this 5-lap journey here at Oran Park, and perfect racing conditions today, and I don't think the promoters will have any problems with getting a large crowd in, and you can see some of the crowd starting to build up there in the background as the lead car now starts to pick up a bit of speed. And this will be an interesting contest, this Coca-Cola Invitational Sprint. Of course, over the 5-lap journey, they're all pretty close for a start. The green light is through now, and away we go. And beginning very well was Glenn Dobson. In fact, Steve Glover was a little bit slow to begin as the trucks make their way down the home straight for the first time. And Glenn Dobson out wide in truck number 6, leading quite clearly. It'll be interesting to see what happens here on the first turn, whether he's able to cut across. He's able to do that. And Glenn Dobson with a good start, Ross, a good flying start there, will lead this field around the corner the first time.
Already opening up a very sizable lead in the opening half lap of the race. Dobson has got himself right on the pace and looking like he is set to make every poster winner in the opening, the Coca-Cola Invitation Sprint for this division. And back behind them, an interesting battle between a couple of drivers putting a bit of pressure on each other early because they don't want this leader Glenn Dobson to get too far away.
Oh, he's starting to spread away now, as you can see him there in that MAN Phoenix, the big yellow entry there. And Glenn Dobson, he's been reasonably successful in the past few seasons, but he's really knuckling down to his task early here on the lap number 1 of this 5-lapper, and Glenn Dobson leads quite clearly. In fact, leads by 2 or 3 seconds on number 22, Jerry Bajima, then Steve Glover, and Patapap is behind him with Graham Cook there. And I do notice that the Joey Scarcella is well back in the field there. In fact, he might have a problem or two, Joey Scarcella, back there in truck number 40. What do you think, Ross?
Had some problems in the warm-up, and they went without him. It means that you've got to be right on the pace, set, ready to go from the opening flag here at Oran Park, because if you give the field a chase, particularly a guy like Glenn Dobson up in front, you've got troubles. But what a battle going on between the truck number 3 of Patapap, who's managed to squeeze by the truck number 21, driven truck 20, I think, no, 121 was it, Nick, that is trying to come through behind Patapap and putting a lot of pressure on him at the moment.
In fact, it is truck 21. That's Darren Hardy there. Darren Hardy, who is driving truck number 21, and he's making his way through the field quite well. But you can see there in truck number 40, Joey Scarcella slipping up on the inside of Patrick Apap, and the horsepower of this big truck number 40 down the home straight at Oran Park really starting to feature now.
Well, whatever it was that had him in problems at the start, Scarcella has overcome those very quickly, and it's showing that if he'd have got away from pole, he might have made a real race of this with our race leader. This is Scarcella setting out after the couple of trucks ahead of him just behind Glenn Dobson. So a battle starting to develop with Scarcella coming out of the pack and setting chase to make up for that problems that he had right at the start of the race.
He's about 5 seconds behind the race leader at the moment, Glenn Dobson, or maybe a little bit more than that, but he is really starting to motor through this field, and he's throwing the big truck from lefts to rights here at Oran Park at the moment. But there's the race leader, Glenn Dobson, at the moment. They've completed 2.5, and Dobson wheeling it round that left-hand corner right up against the fence on the far side and coming down the home straight again. And there's a good gap for you. You can see how clearly the gap is. It's half the length of the straight here, but Scarcella will pick up some down the home straight. There's no question about that, as he now starts to get past Jerry Bajima on the inside there, and now he will set sail for Glenn Dobson.
Gee, did it easily too, past Glover and Bajima to go up into second place. So we saw that big gap that's been established by Dobson. Perhaps looking at it, Dobson may need that gap the way Scarcella is picking up pace. It'll be interesting to see just how quickly Scarcella is pulling back the leader, Glenn Dobson, who got away to that early break thanks to a good start. And now we're finding that Bajima is starting to drop off the pace a little because he just cannot keep up with Joe Scarcella, who is out and chasing the leader.
Be going well, Joey Scarcella. Now we'll see whether we can grab this gap again for you as Glenn Dobson makes the left-hand corner at the top of the straight. Oh, gee, he's starting to really pick up some ground now, Joe Scarcella. And, well, how far Joe Scarcella had he got a clean start? This is the last lap coming up, so we'll just see how much ground Joey Scarcella can make up on Glenn Dobson. There's the last lap board now. And, well, it's quite clear now that Scarcella Ross is really starting to put it down. And
Dobson might be happy that he can see that last lap board up, because I guess he knows that Scarcella is starting to close ranks on him rapidly. And had he had a couple more laps up his sleeves, Scarcella, I think, would have put the pressure right on race leader Glenn Dobson.
Well, just taking a look at them now as they go past the McCarroll Ford sign down on the far side of the course. I'm tipping that this will only be about a length and a half, 2 lengths in it at the end, because Scarcella is really starting to fly home. But now he's got another win there, Glenn Dobson, by the looks of things. He really flew around that last left-hand corner at the top of the...
Somebody got him the message that Scarcella was coming.
Yeah, he did actually... He did put it down there because he must have realised that Scarcella was getting close in this 5-lapper. You can't make any mistakes, but the victory will go to Glenn Dobson. A nice front-running drive from Glenn Dobson. Joe Scarcella will run second, and that was only around about 3 seconds behind, or 2 seconds behind the race winner. And coming in for third there in truck number 22 will be Jerry Bajima, a good drive just in front of Steve Glover. So the Coca-Cola Invitational Sprint, the winner Glenn Dobson driving truck number 6 over Joey Scarcella in truck number 40, and third home in truck number 22, Jerry Bajima. We're not far away from a start of the VG Auto Paint Series for HQ Holden's over 5 laps. This will be a mad charge, Ross Allen. And Russell Becker, Will Cook, Benny Walsh, Frank Putterack, Stephen Butchart, Vince Gatt, Charles DeQuino, Peter Hogan, Jerry Pilkington and Bobby Hepburn are off the front 10 as they're away. And Ross Allen, this is a good start for Russell Becker and Will Cook.
Yeah, well, Will Cook got away a little slowly, and Becker's got a terrific advantage as they charge to the first corner. That will be a big help for him. Will Cook now has to get busy in the red HQ to try and make up for a wheel spin at the start. Lost a lot of ground, and Russell Becker now sets the pace up front as the pack charges out after him, heading down into the midsection of Oran Park.
Not a lot of time between Russell Becker and Will Cook in the qualifying times. 54.57 Russell Becker went round, and 54.59 Willie Cook went round. And not far behind them too was Benny Walsh and 54.79 in car number 28. So the top 3 are fairly competitive here, and only a second behind them is Frank Putterack, who was started off grid position number 4.
Well, Frank is the guy who's made the early move, because it's Russell Becker who's setting the pace as they head into main straightaway first time round. But the guy who's really chasing out very quickly is in the car 43, Frank Putterack. Now keep an eye on him, because he's the guy that's going to serve it right up the rest to Russell Becker as they head to the bottom of main straightaway, trying to make the pass up on the outside. That's the hard way round. And Will Cook also now trying to make up for that very bad start that he had. He's putting himself right on the tail of the top 2, Russell Becker and Frank Putterack.
Okay, so an interesting contest developing here between the top 3 or 4 cars, and these HQ Holdens, the crowd just absolutely love them. They wheel around the circuit here, and you can hear the tyres screeching as they handle the Oran Park circuit. And there goes car number 71, I think it might have been. Yeah, Vincey Gatt was in 77 off the circuit there. We saw that. That was
once those
a great bit of action.
Once the wheels hit the gravel, you can just lose it all together. And that's happened for Vince Gatt as he lost control and puts himself right out of the race. Russell Becker heads them down main straightaway. 3 cars almost running nose to tail. Russell Becker leading from Frank Putterack, who switches out, tries to drive through on the inside. Will Cook now tries to drive up on the inside, locks a break up coming into that corner. He really drove hard, Will Cook. He's trying desperately to make up for that very poor start, and as we said, he's only got 5 laps to do it.
Yeah, well, Russell Becker, they've completed 3, and Russell Becker is leading quite comfortably now. We'll have a look at the replay of what happened to Vince Gatt there. And as Ross mentioned, once you go off the circuit here, and you can see Roscoe, the back tyre there, just took the dirt.
The gravel. Once you clip that gravel out of control, fishtails back in the opposite direction, and the other cars got a good glimpse of that, so at least they had plenty of time to take evasive action as Vince Gatt leaves the circuit.
Well, he was also lucky, too, that he had that side of the track to go on, too, the right-hand side there, instead of having to get mixed up with that field once again as he fishtailed. But let's go back to the race leader now.
Yeah, let's watch this charge into the bottom corner, because out wide, Russell Becker in the white car trying to shake off the tail drag that the other cars want to establish. Here's Will Cook again trying to dive up. Another car joining in the freight train is Steve Butchart. Oh, a bit of shoulder-to-shoulder, door-handle action there with Will Cook and Steve Butchart showing no beg pardons. In fact, Butchart has pushed past Cook, and this is a pretty aggressive drive by the 98 car of Steve Butchart.
It was. He's certainly doing as much as he possibly can to get to this winning post before any other car does. And at this stage, you can see for yourself that car number 98 there, travelling along quite well, Steve Butchart. And behind him in car 16 is Willie Cook, who's been very competitive here at Oran Park for quite so many years. We're getting to the last lap board now, and Russell Becker will take the last lap board.
Well, he probably deserves it. He made the best of the start and has driven pretty cagely too. He's kept out very wide coming down main straightaway to shake off any advantage that the others may get from the wind draft. But the guy who's been impressive has certainly been Steve Butchart, to work his way up into 3rd place past Will Cook in this 98 car, and now starting to throw a little bit of pressure onto Frank Puterick too. So Frank won't want to slouch around in this last half lap of the race, or Steve Butchart might pick up 2nd spot. They charge to the checker, and the race is headed up by Russell Becker.
Going along smoothly, he leads by about 2 seconds now. And Willie Cook there has done quite a good drive, I think. Willie Cook is sitting in behind those cars there, set pace 2nd and 3rd. He's trying to get into a 2nd spot as we speak. Russell Becker will take the checkered flag. He's halfway down the home straight right now, Russell Becker, and yeah, he salutes the checkered flag. Now, it's pretty close for the minor placings. Roscoe is a real charge across the line. Did you cite 2nd and 3rd?
Well, I thought that perhaps Frank Puterick in the 43 may have finished just a bumper bar in front of Will Cook in the car number 16, and the 98 of Steve Butchart finishing in 4th place, but a strong finish by Will Cook to try and grab that 2nd spot. They might need the camera.
The VG Auto Paint Series, there's your HQ Holden winner. And Russell Becker giving the crowd the salute as we have a look at the replay of the finish to determine our 2nd and 3rd. We've called on the Kodak, and here it is. There's Russell Becker winning, and he's pretty close. I think, Roscoe, you might have just called this right. Oh, gee, Cook's kick back on the inside. What do you think?
Just got there. Yeah, 2nd place going to Frank Puterick, and the tight battle was between Will Cook and Steve Butchart for that 3rd and 4th placing. And as we got the angle, we might give it to the red HQ of Will Cook for 3rd. Race 3 on our Valvoline Australian Truck Racing Championship Grand Final day is the Isuzu SBR Sprint. Just 6 starters for this race. Position 1, 2, Gary Wilmington. Position 2, 25, Peter Dane. Position 3, 91, Bert Winters. Position 5, 8, Paul Hay. Position 6, 18, Terry Sawyer. And position 7, 47, Michael Russell. A few drivers having problems in practice yesterday, unable to take their place on the grid. And I understand too that Peter Dane and Bert Winters, Peter Dane in 25 and Bert Winters in 91, also had some problems prior to the start of this race, and are hopeful that they'll be able to get through. The truck's coming around the main straight corner, the corner into main straight, behind the pace car. The pace car will pick up pace, and these trucks will move away for the start of the SBR Sprint. Keep an eye on the blue truck number 2 of Gary Wilmington, the pace setter from yesterday's practice session. He starts to wind up behind the pace car, coming down main straight away. A good start by Wilmington. They're picking up the pace car very quickly. No, a false start, because Wilmington was coming too strong on the pace car. It looked as if he was almost going to bypassed the pace car at one stage, so the officials not happy with the safety of that start, and the guys will have to circulate one more lap of the track and probably back off. Coming into main straight behind the pace car. Gary Wilmington in the blue truck 22, keen to get away to a good start. Stand by for event 3. The green lights flash and Wilmington away very well. Peter Dane trying to put the pressure on him on the outside in 25. He's going very quickly too, Dane. He's looking for the lead, diving into the first corner, and he's going to get it. Dane takes up the running from Wilmington right behind. He'll be determined to try and keep right on the pace if he possibly can, with Dane and Wilmington running shoulder to shoulder. Wilmington getting off the track just a little there, getting untidy because he's pushing so hard to stay in touch with race leader Peter Dane in this opening lap of the SBR sprint, and they are sprinting. Only 5 laps to the checkered flag, and the 2 drivers battling it out for the lead, Peter Dane and Gary Wilmington.
Yes, well, Bert Winters had a few problems in qualifying, but he's there in this race in number 91. But as we look at the race leader there, it was a great charge, wasn't it? Peter Dane and Gary Wilmington. Gary Wilmington was driving the bigger trucks a few seasons back. He's now gone into the SBRs, and he's really pressing now on the race leader, Peter Dane. I think he used to drive some those HQ Holdens a few seasons back too, but right now it's truck number 25, Peter Dane, qualified at 58.69. It was marginally slower than Gary Wilmington in number 2 there, who qualified at 58.26 in this field of 8 trucks, the SBR trucks, and it's the real sprint over the short course of only 3 laps.
Wilmington working hard at it at the moment, and probably working a little too hard, getting untidy, losing his line in a number of corners, which means that he can't quite put the pressure to Peter Dane that he would like to. Dane realising this is keeping a nice and steady line, and once Wilmington gets his act together, he does make up quite a lot of ground, and that's the tactic he wants at this stage. He wants to keep it smooth so that he can put the pressure right on Peter Dane as they come down main straightaway at Oran Park. They're starting to get sideways, these trucks, because Peter Dane, race leader in truck 25, knows that Wilmington is now chasing strongly in blue truck 2, and really, as they come down main straightaway, here's a chance for Wilmington to get the shot on the inside. Dane too smart for that one. He drifted across track to close the gap, and Wilmington again trying to keep it much smoother through that corner. He does this time, and perhaps he may be able to stay in touch with Dane and get a shot at him in mid-track.
Well, Dane working very hard, but to Wilmington's credit, he's keeping Dane closely pegged at the moment, and as they go past the left-hander, past the short corner there, and there's only about 1.5 to 2 truck lengths advantage now for the leader, Peter Dane, as he's pushing nice and hard Gary Wilmington. They're the top 2, and there's a fair gap to the 3rd entrant, Bert Winters, in truck number 91. But these two have it between them now. Here's the situation as they go down the home straight. 2 laps remaining. Bert Winters, he's running into 3rd spot, and there he goes in truck number 91. And then Michael Russell, who's up in 4th spot. Paul Hayes well back in the field, but the race at the moment, of course, with only 1 lap remaining, it's only a 3 lap of this race, is between Gary Wilmington and Peter Dane. And Wilmington and Dane, they've got a real cat and mouse situation happening. I think Dane might just hang on because he's handling the truck okay, but not getting out of his sights Gary Wilmington, who's right there, and Dane has Wilmington right in his revision mirror at the moment.
Driving a really good line is Peter Dane, and that's what's making it hard for Wilmington to get by him. And as they come through the Yamaha dogleg and into Goodyear corner to come down main straightaway, Dane just has that 2 truck length advantage on Wilmington. They've opened up a really big break on the rest of the pack, just to show how clearly they dominate this Isuzu SBR division. Wilmington on the last lap now, realising he's got to do it all if he's going to get the lead. Here he comes. On the outside, is that the place to make the move? I don't think so. Dane's got the advantage on the inside, but that will put the pressure on Dane. He knows that Wilmington is right beside him.
Well, there's only room for 1 across there, and it happens to be Peter Dane just getting up a hand on Gary Wilmington. But Wilmington certainly pressing. He's trying hard to get past Peter Dane. And these 2 trucks are really putting in a top performance, and the crowd just love these SBR sprint races. They really do. There's half a lap to go. Now the question is, he came off the circuit there, Gary Wilmington, but he's really chasing. Plenty of horsepower, though, from Peter Dane.
Through the Yamaha dogleg and into Goodyear corner. This will be the last time. That's the bit of breathing space that Peter Dane wanted to take the checkered flag.
Sideways as they come into the home straight for the final time. This is Wilmington's last chance on Peter Dane, but Peter Dane will take it out in truck number 25. Second will be Gary Wilmington in number 2. And third, making up plenty of ground, was Michael Russell in 47. They are the placings. And for the SBR Sprint, a great win to Peter Dane. And there he is in the Adolph's Truck Repairs entry there. Got a fair bit of sponsorship to Peter Dane, which is good to see. And a very nice drive, Ross. I think you'll agree. He just kept on making the best of seeing Wilmington in his revision mirror and kept on charging, didn't he?
Despite a terrific effort by Gary Wilmington, a deserved victory to Peter Dane, who kept his cool and took the checkered flag.
Welcome to Oran Park for the Invitation Challenge. Should be a great race, this one. Let's take a look at them from the pole position. And we've got Rodney Crick in number 7, Albert Cedars, Bill Siders. Then we have Jerry Bajima, Terry Sawyer, Paul Hay, Aaron Southbourne, Lofty Richardson, Tom Hutchinson. And also we've got Joey Scarcella in number 40. He's at the tail of the field there. We believe he's been put back to the tail of the field because Rob Russell qualified in the truck with Scarcella at this particular point he's driving. So he's been put back at the tail of the field, waiting for the green light to go through. There it is right now. So the 20 laps begin with Rodney Crick beginning quite beautifully on the inside from number 6 Albert Cedars, and then there's quite a margin back to the next truck there, which is truck number 3, and that's Bill Cedars, and Jerry Bajima in number 22. So Rodney Crick leads quite clearly around that corner for the first time.
Controversial start to the race with quite a time delay, with officials discussing just where Joe Scarcella was to take his place. So Nick's already pointed out Rob Russell qualified fastest and should have been on pole, but he handed the driving wheel to Joe Scarcella, and because Scarcella didn't set the time, Rodney Crick said, well, he must start from rear of field. So there was quite a dispute which caused a delay, and I'd say Rod Crick now is going to make every post a winner under these difficult circumstances. At least the rain has stopped, and here's Scarcella. He will have his dander up, and he will be trying to charge his way through the pack ahead of him, but he's got a lot to do because he's back going through Yamaha Dogleg as our race leader Rod Crick slides it through Goodyear corner and down Main straight away to end the first lap.
Well, you can see we've had a fair bit of rain here at Oran Park. The track is drying out quite nicely now. These trucks only have to go about 4 or 5 laps on the circuit, and they'll be drying it out quite nicely. But right now, Rodney Crick is leading, and he's going down the home straight, hooking out nice and wide to take this left-hander, as he does so right now, and the truck handling quite well. Cedars and Cedars, both the Cedars boys there, running second and third. That is Albert Cedars in truck number 6, and just ahead of him in truck number 3 is Bill. And then we go further back to Jerry Bajima in number 22, and also up there too in number, might be number 18, Terry Sawyer is there as well.
I think there's a spin out in the background. The number 10 car was Lofty Richardson. He has sold out, and that's the sort of thing that will help Joe Scarcella make his way to the front of the pack. In fact, he looks like he might be up in around about 6th or 7th place at this stage. So we've got Rod Crick in front. We've got Bill Cedars second. Albert Cedars is third. In 4th place is Jerry Bajima. Then the 18 of Terry Sawyer. 53 is the next truck through, and that's Aaron Southbourne. And then comes Joe Scarcella. So coming down Main straight away, that was the leader. He just went through. That was Rod Crick. And now we're trying to spot Joe Scarcella. Here he comes, the black and green truck out of the Goodyear sweeper. A bunch of 3 trucks ahead of him as he tries to mow them down on the inside, coming down Oran Park Main straight.
And on our race time, he's 15 seconds behind now. 15 seconds behind the race leader, Crick. And it'll be interesting to see how Scarcella does go. We'll keep an eye on that time, because even though he's running at about 7th spot at the moment, the challenge will be on there, because Russell will certainly, Scarcella will certainly want to be driving the Russell truck to victory here. If he can, he'd certainly like to get in front of Rodney Crick.
Rod Crick is going to be a very hard man to catch. This is the Invitation Challenge, and this is the one that the truck drivers really put a lot of emphasis on in winning on a day like this, because they were specifically invited into this race. They are the top guns here today. So to win this one means that you are the #1 on the day, and Rod Crick has that advantage at the moment. Joe Scarcella, here he is. He's back in around about 6th or 7th place, but he's now got a chance to try and pass these trucks coming down Main straight away.
Well, the interesting thing about it too, Ross, is that he passes 1, 2 or 3 trucks there. In actual fact, makes up 3 places, and the 3 trucks ahead of him aren't very far away. So if he was to take his next truck and then another one after that, he'll be putting himself in about 4th spot. And
there's Aaron Southern.
Yeah, in fact, he overtakes Southern right now. So he's in pretty good shape there to make a bit of a challenge on the trucks that are further up the field.
And is going to try and take on Terry Sawyer in this Egypt corner. Sawyer on the inside. Scarcella tucks in behind, throws a little bit of caution there rather than lose it altogether. He's worked very hard to make up this ground, so he doesn't want to make mistakes, because a mistake means he's just going to bring undone all the good work that he has already done. So that's the man we're watching at the moment, Joe Scarcella, as he winds his way through the pack, stuck in behind Terry Sawyer at the moment, and just ahead of them is Jerry Bajima. But Joe Scarcella, the man who is trying very, very hard to make amends after being sent to the rear of the field at the start of the race.
Well, Scarcella now passing another slower truck there, and he's making his way through the field quite well. And we've got past the start-finish line now, Rodney Crick, and at last count was 15 seconds in the front of Scarcella. There's Jerry Bajima. Lofty Richardson is back on the circuit again, and here's the leader now, Rodney Crick coming through. Oh, poor.
Well, this is going to help Scarcella. This is going to help him a lot, because Richardson was in a spin. Oh, gee. And Bill Cedars had to really back off there too, because the slower truck was in a spin ahead of them. And we've got Rod Crick now, balked by that truck. Bill Cedars is right behind him, and that would have helped Joe Scarcella make up some ground. We'll check it on the Seiko timepiece in just a moment.
Yes, we will, but right now I couldn't believe what I just saw there. I saw Lofty Richardson trying to get back on the circuit, and as he got back on the circuit and into the firing line again, he blocked Rodney Crick's passage all the way through there. So a real drama now. I'm going to predict rain coming through in the next 3 or 4 laps. Heavy rain will be falling here, and there's Rodney Crick. Is he going to hang on to it? Oh, he's gone out nice and wide there into the home straight, and he held on beautifully.
About 16 seconds is the gap at the moment between Rod Crick and Joe Scarcella, so he's not really making much impression at this point of time. Rod Crick and Bill Cedars, they're running 1-2. Albert Cedars is in 3rd place. There's the long shot down Main straight away, and Joe Scarcella just in sight behind. We've got Albert Cedar. Lofty Richardson is the slower car. There comes Joe Scarcella out behind the slower truck, and Scarcella going up past Lofty Richardson, and that will give him a little bit more clear track space in an effort to try and mow down the leader.
Well, he's still 16.7 seconds away now from our leading truck there of Rodney Crick, and we'll be interested to see whether he's made up any ground on him. But Crick right now is leading from Cedars. There is Scarcella, and he's wheeling and dealing that big green machine there. Around about 5th or 6th spot. But right now back to the race leader. There he is, Rodney Crick, who's handled the conditions quite well. The last time he did this corner, he went out nice and wide. Was able to handle the truck quite okay, though, as he came into the home straight. And here he goes again. Once again, hooks it out nice and wide, and just fishtailing a fraction there, but he's back on target once again down the home straight. And he's setting up quite a nice lead at the moment, Rodney Crick.
Well, try as Scarcella may to make up ground, I still think it's going to be about a 16 to 17 second gap. Rod Crick's got it pretty comfortably at the moment, and I think he's just cruising out in front. He's toying with his opposition at the moment, Rod Crick, and no one making any impression whatsoever. He has got control of this truck race.
15 seconds, so he might have just got just under the 16-second mark there. A slightly quicker lap for Joey Scarcella. Rodney Crick there, still wheeling and dealing out in front. And he leads quite comfortably, and heavy rain is about to fall here at Oran Park, coming through from the west. So what these trucks have done to dry the track off there will have no avail in the next couple of laps, because rain will fall.
Well, there's the weatherman predicting what's happening as we try and predict Rod Crick's chances of making this a clean sweep today in the Invitational. He has driven very well at Oran Park, a track that he likes very much, handles the layout well, loves to get out, and oh, he's even so confident he's hanging the tail out and giving the fans a wave as he comes through Goodyear corner. He is a man absolutely chock full of confidence at the moment, and he's about to sweep the world before him. Bill Cedars in 2nd place. He's tried very hard. Albert Albert Cedars is running third. Here's the shot down Main Straight. We can't even get Joe. There's Joe Scarcella just coming into sight at the back of the pack now. And Joe Scarcella, I don't know, is making up much territory at all on this race leader.
16.23 seconds there, so he's lost time in that. In fact, he's lost a second and a half there on that lap because Rodney Crick is, as you heard Ross mention, driving like a man inspired right now. And he really is just loving these conditions. He really is just thriving them at the moment as he's wheeling this truck around the circuit here at Oran Park with a big Volvo looking pretty good.
These are the sort of conditions that a guy probably, if he doesn't keep his wits about him, could make a few mistakes. But a guy like Rod Crick and the skills that he has, well, he's just going to really enjoy this and mop up the last of the races that are they just love doing. Turning it on for the fans up on the hill, and they are lapping it up.
Well, I guess he knows exactly what he's doing. We're going to get another time lap just to see whether Scarcella's making any ground up on him. But I'll tell you who has driven a good race, and that is Bill Siders, Ross.
He has done very well in second place. There's always been that break of around about 15-20 metres between the two. Cedars has kept him in touch, and Albert Cedars not making any impression in third place.
13.08 seconds now. He's starting to bridge the gap a little bit, Scarcella there. That was the latest call from our stopwatch here in the tower, that he's got down to 3 seconds that lap there. So even though Crick has been driving it nice and hard out in front there and giving the crowd something to cheer about, through the field, Joey Scarcella putting it on.
Well, this is what we were saying a little earlier. The driver up front, who then tends to set back into relax mode, can be lulled into a false sense of security. And maybe we might have some pit crews starting to make some frantic signals to Rod Crick and saying, listen, enough of the action, let's get down to the business and make sure we win this race.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got the conditions to absolutely suit him at the moment, Rod Crick, but if it does happen to rain within the next 5 or 6 laps here, which is certainly not out of the question, we're going to find out further timing now on Rodney Crick, how much he leads Scarcella by as he comes into the home straight right now. There's Rodney Crick, and you'll be able to see Scarcella on the very back of your picture there if we can hold the camera shot long enough before he gets around there. And we had 13 seconds last time round. It is now down to 12.30, so he's really starting to fly.
Well, he's starting to move in. The combination behind Rod Crick might be of some assistance too, because if Bill Cedars and Albert Cedars can keep the pressure on race leader Rod Crick, then maybe, and just maybe, Joe Scarcella could put himself into a challenging position. But the lapse is the next thing that comes into calculation.
Well, he's also got the slower traffic to worry about too, Ross, and if he happens to get some problems with slower traffic like he did with Lofty Richardson earlier on, that's going to even get Scarcella a little bit closer, because he's got no problems about him at all. He's just rolling on his own at the present time.
Well, here's the man in the O'Brien aluminium truck. And that's, yes, there certainly is underneath this 53 of Aaron Southern. 2 of the tyres from the infield track barriers are hooked up underneath the truck.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. That's what it looks like to me.
It's not a street sweeper, is it?
Well, he's going to drive the track out twice as much as anybody else with those 2 tyres on. So he's doing a good job for the guys as that weather in the west starts to look very, very threatening indeed. So
11.86 seconds now, Ross. Every lap he's taken one off him.
Well, the interesting thing now is the lap calculator. How many laps does Joe Scarcella have left in the big black and green Kenworth to make ground on Rod Crick?
Well, the conditions are starting to deteriorate here right now. It does look quite bright on your screens right now, but let me tell you, it is very, very dark. And Rodney Crick wheeling and dealing out in front at the present time. He knows that he's got to just hold on to this lead the way he has it at the moment, and he'll take the race out quite comfortably.
I think he must have got a message from the pits, Nick, because he's moved away from Bill and Albert Cedars. I think he realises, let's watch him come through the Goodyear sweeper. I don't think there'll be any fishtailing and mucking it. No, he's back to business now, Rodney Crick. He's been given the message from the pits that Joe Scarcella is closing, and if he keeps putting on the clown act coming through the corners, he could throw the last race away. And as I said, a prestigious moment for these drivers to be able to take out the invitation race on the day. Now we're just starting lap number 11 in the race from our lap scorers, keeping us well informed, because this is building up to an interesting finish.
Well, it could be a beauty, Ross, because there are 11 laps to go and there's only 12 seconds in it. So I tell you what, it could be quite interesting to see whether if Scarcella can make up a second lap like he has been doing in the last 5 laps.
Crick's been given the word. He's back down to business now. He's got the Volvo settled into a fine groove, and Rod Crick, knowing now that he's got a job to do, I think we'll forget about the waving to the fans and doing the fishtailing, and look at the gap now that he's opened up on Bill and Albert Cedars. They're just dropping right out of contention, and I think we might start to see the gap between Crick and Scarcella actually open up over the next couple of laps, because Rod Crick has really got down to business. This is him in the Volvo coming down main straight away. He's he's not mucking around anymore. He's had a look out at the pit crew. He's got the message from them. Now here's some slower traffic, as we've pointed out, particularly this car of Aaron Southern with the two tyres trapped underneath it. Now he's certainly going to slow Rod Crick down and put a chance for Joe Scarcella to make up some ground. What's the latest from the Seiko?
Yeah, 13.18 there from the Seiko, and I tell you what, he's now starting to really increase the tempo, Rodney Crick. They got down to about 11.5 seconds, so...
But the slower traffic.
Yeah.
He's going to lose here.
He is too. This will be interesting because Scarcella's got absolutely nothing in front of him. He'll just keep pressing the time. So I'm tipping about a 12.5-second lap, or maybe into the 11-second difference.
Could be more, because here's that truck with the two tyres trapped underneath it. Now, he's certainly got to be going at a slower pace than he'd like to be, Aaron Southern. So Rod Crick will be hampered by this truck, and I think if he doesn't get a clear shot at him here down main straightaway, here's a great opportunity for Joey Scarcella to come through the Yamaha dogleg, and the fans are starting to urge Joe on.
I tell you what, it's going to be pretty exciting now, because he needs to take Southern here. He does so, Crick. Plenty of horsepower there for him. Now we'll get the lap time. This will be an interesting one, because over the last half lap he was balked there by number 53, and Joey Scarcella was passing trucks at will. So we'll find out now that the lap time is only 11.5 seconds.
Yep.
He's picked up 2 seconds.
That was what we predicted with that traffic ahead, and Joe Scarcella coming down into the bottom of Main Straight. The rain is staying away. Scarcella desperately needs that to happen. He doesn't want that shower to arrive over the next few laps of this race, because Rod Crick is the man who's out in front, and Scarcella wants to make the ground. We've forgotten about Bill and Albert Cedars in the middle of these two. They're the sandwich in between the two we're watching, but Rod Crick coming up into the Yamaha dogleg, and I don't know that rain is terribly too far away, because as they come into that section of the Oran Park track, it is looking very ominous.
Well, we've gone about 13.5 laps now, and Rodney Crick, well, you've got to give it to this guy. Hasn't he just driven so well? There is the cloud building up as we predicted there in lap number 9, and we're up to lap 13 now, and I'm suggesting there'll be rain by lap 16 as they now cross the start-finish line. And there's Rodney Crick now. We'll see what sort of time he's doing. 53 still on the circuit and going along quite okay. That's Aaron Southern, although he's got those two tyres underneath the car, underneath the truck, as you can see. Let's get the time now, and it is now 12.29 seconds, so a slightly better lap there for Rodney Crick.
Hey, look at Joe. He's got the two Cedars right in his sights. Albert Cedar in second place, Bill Cedars running third, and Scarcella's got to get past Bill Cedar first. Now, this might be a problem for Joe Scarcella. He's had clear track up until this point of time. Now he's got to work past the third place getter, Bill Cedars, if he possibly can.
Yeah, but Cedars is still driving along quite well. He's driving still at the pace of the race, Ross. I don't see how he's going to be a real problem to him, because he's not a slow driver or a hindrance driver. I think Scarcella might just take him fairly easily.
Well, he needs to. He needs to take it easily, because we're running out of laps. We're getting into the concluding stage of this race. We'll be down into the final few laps. Rod Crick seemingly having the race at his keeping, but Joe Scarcella has certainly made the race interesting for the fans. Here's Scarcella putting the pressure on Cedars.
Well, this has been the closest he's been for quite some time there. Just starting lap number 15 now, so there is still time for Joey Scarcella to make his move. Now, he's going to get Cedars now in the home straight for this 15th time. He's got it to 13.5 seconds away there from the race leader, Crick. He just seems to be just rating this race to a nicety, Rodney Crick. He really does. And this is the problem. Well, he is having a bit of a worry, isn't he, getting around the Cedars truck there. Bill Cedars still keeping Joey Scarcella at bay at the moment.
Yeah, that's the problem for Scarcella. Cedars, as you pointed out, is able to set a good pace. He's not quite right on the lead pace, obviously, because that's with Rod Crick, and this is Bill Cedars in third, but he is getting along much better than the slower traffic than Scarcella. Scarcella is presented with a problem here, because once he makes the move up on two-seaters, unless it's at a clear part of the racetrack, he's not able to make up any ground whatsoever. So into the last few laps of the race, and Joe Scarcella has it all to do. Bill Cedars is ahead of him as they come out of the Goodyear sweeper and down Main Straight.
He's starting to really pull away now, and I don't think Scarcella's got much chance of picking up either of the Cedars brothers, or has he even got a chance of, although as I speak now, he's got past Bill Cedars now, and Joey Scarcella has really accelerated, and even though the gap is now 15 seconds on the Seiko, he's still starting to storm home now as Joey Scarcella on lap number 16. This is the lap we predicted rain. It might not occur till lap 18, but I tell you what, the track is nice and dry, and if rain does occur, he's going to have problems because he's travelling really with Rodney Crick, isn't he?
Yeah, Rodney Crick is well clear of the second place getter now, which is Albert Cedars. Oh, he's opened up a break of a good maybe 30 seconds, I'd say, on Albert Cedars. Although maybe Joe Scarcella, with now this clear track, will put the challenge on for second spot. I guess we might have to give up the battle for first placing on Rod Crick, but let's see if Joe Scarcella can do something about second spot. And when you consider this has been a charge from the back of the pack, it's a damn good effort.
Oh, look, it's been a remarkable drive from Joey Scarcella, because he started right at the rear of the grid. Now, we'll time it and see exactly on our Seiko how quickly he's going now, and I tell you what, this is going to surprise you folks. He's only 15 seconds behind now, and we'll lap this one again for you. We're on lap number 17, and Rodney Crick is going along quite nicely, and the track is nice and dry now because these trucks have certainly dried it out. There've been all sorts of problems. We saw a truck there, truck number 53, which was Aaron Southern's truck, take a couple of the tyres away from the marshalling stand, and he's had that to contend with, but that's all over now as the truck continues on. But there he is, Joey Scarcella in the Rob Russell entry, and he's flying it on the circuit now, and he's trying to pick up Rodney Crick, who still leads quite comfortably.
Crick, as we pointed out during the call, had probably settled down into a little too casual a pace and was quick to get the message from his pit crew. Now he's got the head down over the wheel of Volvo, and he's down to the serious business. The Volvo of Rod Crick, clear of the pack here at Oran Park. There's the second place truck in our long shot down Main Straightaway, the yellow truck of Albert Cedars, and here's the third place truck, and that's Joe Scarcella, and it's been a very good performance by Joe. The fans have really appreciated the effort that he's put up, but Rodney Crick, I think, now starting to really take control of the concluding stages of this race.
That was an even lap time, 15 seconds.
And, well, no distance gained or lost, which is an indication that both drivers, I think, have reached their peak now, knowing that they've got the signal from the pit crew that they're down into the concluding laps, and it might be just preserve your energy for the run home.
Yes, we're up to the last lap now, Roscoe. We're getting up to the last lap board that'll be shown to Rodney Crick, and he'll be glad when this day's over, because by golly, as he puts some effort into this one. Joey Scarcella has tried so hard. He's made up so many places from where he started on the grid, which was absolutely last. He's made up to 11 seconds. He got two within Rodney Crick, but he's now easing it back to about 15 or 16. It's been a peculiar performance as the last lap board comes up now for Rodney Crick, who's just in behind Jerry Bajima there, and he'll just probably follow Bajima home in the last half lap and then just scoot away from him and take the prize.
Rod Crick into the last lap of the Invitational Truck Challenge. Albert Cedars in the yellow truck number 6. Here comes Joey Scarcella. Big effort by him to come from the tail of the grid to move through into third place. And I think he'll be pretty happy with that just the same. No doubt he would have loved to have won. But Rod Crick is going to have that honour. Here he is in the blue Volvo. Deserves the victory. He pointed out that he even knows the rules of truck racing right at the start, when we had that controversial circumstance where he thought that Scarcella should start at the rear. So victory to him on both counts, over the officials and now over the racetrack.
Well, the checkered flag will come out now for Rodney Crick. It's been a marvellous effort, as Ross has mentioned to you. Joey Scarcella, a big performance. Cedars have done very well this season too. They've been very competitive, but let's wait for the checkered flag. And here it comes now for the race winner, Rodney Crick. He didn't salute that time. I think he's glad that the day's over. Second home will be in number 6, which will be Billy Cedars in number 6. And Albert Cedars in number 6 was second, and the third home, and it's been a terrific performance to number 40, which was Joey Scarcella, and in that last lap he made up to 12 seconds away from Rodney Crick. So that's the way they finished there. Number 7, the winner, Rodney Crick. Second home in number 6 was Albert Cedars, and third home in the invitational race in number 40 was Joey Scarcella. Let's now take you down to the presentation area for the Invitation Challenge.
Congratulations, Rodney. A great drive, and it wasn't a bit greasy, but I think could have been your easiest drive of the day.
Yeah, well, Mel, it's probably a shame for the crowd and that it rained there, but I tried to make it as spectacular as I could to keep the crowd interested because it's a bit greasy and they're not real fun to drive in these conditions, as you'd know. But I'd like to thank Valvoline, Oran Park for putting this great race meeting on. Had a good crowd here again. That's great. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Shell Myrena, for their support through the year. It's been a long, hard year. It's a bit stressful at the end, but anyway, we come out in true colours today like we are a champion team, champion bunch of people that work on the truck. I'd just like to thank Volvo, TRN, all the people responsible. I'd really like to thank Ian Jones, Trevor, Dave, Glenn, me dad, Neil Fordham, Snow, all put a lot of work into this truck during the year, and this is for all yous, and hopefully we will be back next year better than ever. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to Oran Park, and as part of the entertainment here on grand final day for the Australian Truck Racing Championship, Ross Allen, we're looking at these magnificent guys and their machines there, and you can see them, the Bridgestone precision driving team, and precision driving is what it's all about. They bring the crowds here, don't they? They're great.
They're very, very clever, these drivers, driving the brand new Commodores. They throw them around as if there was no tomorrow. Plenty of blue tyre smoke, but these guys just drive within centimetres of each other. They know exactly what each other are going to do, and they do get into some great precision manoeuvres.
Just look at that now. They're absolutely bumper to bumper. They'd be going at a speed of probably 60 kilometres an hour, just bumper to bumper there. They'll do something at the end of this home straight, I'm sure. They're going the opposite direction to what the cars normally go, and the big crowd absolutely thrilled by these four guys there in the Bridgestone precision driving team. There they go, just hooking out wide, and I've seen them at many of the shows around Australia. There's the old bumper to bumper with two off and two on. Now, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen here, but you just watch it for yourself. If they spin out at the bottom of the straight.
Amazing how quickly they can change gears and change direction in these cars. The handbrake U-turn straight into reverse gear or second or third gear and keep the car moving as if they haven't even made a turn. Now they're heading onto the infield.
A bit like the way you drive, Ross, when you're running late for work, isn't it? That's before you get out of the driveway.
Leave me alone.
All right, folks, so the precision driving team from the Bridgestone boys are here to entertain the crowd at Oran Park. The Deals on Wheels, the invitation race, and taking a look at them from the pole, and Adrian Richardson in number 15, Lofty Richardson in number 10, Bert Winters, and Aaron Southorn there. Number 8 is Paul Hay. Aldolfo Calogero is number 25, Darren Hardy and Michael Russell, all competing here on the Deals on Wheels. An interesting name for a race, an invitation handicap over 8 laps for the trucks here at Oran Park.
The reason we see the big gaps is that they've been spaced out according to a handicap position where they will start on certain times behind the scratch truck, and the scratch truck, the number 15 of Adrian Richards, getting the flag behind. There are quite a few of these guys who are going to give away quite a big start to the other trucks up front. And I think they realise that the race is underway, some of these fellows. They've re-handicapped themselves rather badly.
Yes, well, you can see the flag marshal there on the start-finish line. He's waving their trucks away at various time limits, and they're all away now by the looks of things. But I tell you what, they've given these front runners a real handicap, some of these trucks, and the race over 8 laps. I'm just wondering whether there's enough time for some of these trucks, these quicker trucks, to pick up the slow ones up front. But anyway, this is our race leader, and it is Adrian Richardson.
Well, Adrian's got a really tough job here under handicap conditions, because he's got, whilst he realises he's got a big break of something like 35 or 40 seconds on the back markers, he really has no idea and must rely wholly and solely on his pit crew to keep him informed as to whether he's setting a sensible pace up front or whether he needs to pick it up. Big spaces between trucks as they head down main straightaway. Adrian Richardson, Lofty Richardson, and those two are the front runners. The rest of the pack are the ones that you really need to watch to see if they're making up ground.
Well, I can tell you that there's a 10-second gap between Adrian Richardson and the second-place truck at the moment, which is truck number 91 of Bert Winters. It's a 10-second gap there, and there are periodically 5 to 10-second gaps between the other trucks in the race. But at this stage, number 25, Adolfo Calgiro. It is one to watch, because Adolfo is going along quite nicely, and he started off on a handicap of 25 seconds.
Making up a lot of ground on the trucks that were just ahead of him at race start time. And another truck making a good move is the 47 of Michael Russell. These two trucks are probably the ones to watch coming through the race, and it makes it very difficult. Great for the fans to see, but from our television camera point of view, the actual race leader is still way out in front, a good 30-35 seconds ahead of this group of trucks, which are the ones that we're expecting to make up ground. These ones on the main straightaway, here are the leaders. The driver, Adrian Richardson, really getting his arms moving inside the cabin. He's trying to get every possible ounce of power out of this truck, because he knows the rest of the hound dogs are chasing out after him. They're coming down main straight away. Michael Russell is heading them up. He's starting to really get out of the pack. The number 47, Michael Russell, I'd say he's the one that might put the challenge to Adrian Richardson. Lofty Richardson in the truck just behind, that's number 10, is making up some ground as well. So these are the two setting the pace, and then there's the big break back to the pack, which I think at the moment is being headed up by the 47 of, the 91 it is, of Bert Winters. He's holding down third place, and he's got to be around about still 15 or 20 seconds behind. I think these front runners have got them covered at the moment.
Looks that way, Ross, but right now there's only 2 seconds. He's made up plenty of ground, has Lofty Richardson on Adrian Richardson, and we'll just get them and time them as they cross the start-finish line. There won't be a great deal of timing in this. In fact, less than half a second between these two guys now, and a further 25 seconds back to our third placer, Bert Winters, at the moment. There might be a new leader shortly. Lofty Richardson in truck number 10, who's tailgating at the moment. Truck 15, Adrian Richardson, and Adrian now leads quite comfortably at the bottom of the straight, but Lofty certainly has him in his sights. They both took the corner nice and wide there, giving themselves plenty of room to move. And Lofty now setting out after Adrian Richardson and these two big black trucks. And
here's trouble
there for 53. That's Aaron Sutherland there in truck number 53, wheeling and dealing around the circuit on this race that's called Deals on Wheels, and it wasn't a fair deal there for number 53, Aaron Sutherland at this point. Now here's the dice for the top spot, and it's number 15, Adrian Richardson, leading Lofty Richardson. But for how long? Only time will tell. There's not a lot of laps left.
Michael Russell is making up ground in the number 47. Behind Winner. Here are the two lead trucks coming down main straightaway. 15, Adrian Richardson. 10, Lofty Richardson.
Lofty's got him.
Yep, he's grabbed the lead. Now, long shot down main straightaway, and we see the blue and yellow truck of Bert Winters, yeah, and then the one behind, the 47, and that's Michael Russell. So they're all in main straightaway. They've got each other in sights now, and this is where the excitement of handicapping starts to come in. Just a couple of laps to go, and see whether Bert Winters or perhaps Michael Russell can be the drivers to peg back our Richardson leaders.
Well, I tell you what, it is exciting. Now, what looked like was going to be a cakewalk earlier has turned out to be something quite exciting here with a couple of laps remaining. In fact, I'm sure the last lap board will come out now for the Richardson Richardson plan, and who's making up ground there behind number 91, Bert Winters? That is Russell, isn't it? Yep. He's really starting to power, and in fact, he's got number 15, Adrian Richardson in sight. Only Bert Winters.
He might play the blocking game.
Yeah.
The other Richardson, Adrian Richardson, might play. Oh, there's Bert Winters taking the shortcut. He lost the road map, and Michael Russell came round the outside. He's going to shoot up into second place. Now, if we've got a last lapper here, this could be exciting. Do we have the last lapper?
It's out all right. The last lap board is out for Lofty Richardson now. And number 47, which is Michael Russell, is setting out after Lofty now. He started from 30 seconds, in fact, 35 seconds behind Lofty Richardson. In fact, if you take Lofty's handicap out, that is 30 seconds exactly. So he's made up plenty of ground, number 47, and he's now setting it after Lofty Richardson now.
Insights down into the Foster's dip they go. Only, what, about 20, 25?
I think he's going to catch him, Ross.
He could do in the Yamaha Dog League, but he'll have to wait to make the pass coming down Main straight away. Let's watch the race to the checker.
Here we go now. The dice is on between Russell and Richardson. Russell has made up an incredible amount of ground. He's hooked onto the inside of Lofty Richardson, and that's where he's going to take him. If he holds the inside line, which he will do, that's a top bit of driving, leaving Lofty Richardson in his wake, and a marvellous performance, a superb effort there from Michael Russell, who'll take the checkered flag. He's happy about that. Lofty Richardson in second spot off the handicap of 5 seconds, and the third home, it appears, will be number 91, which is Bert Winters. So the race winner there, and off 35 seconds, was Michael Russell, and he was the winner. We'll check second and third. Number 10 has run second, Lofty Richardson, and third home, Darren Hardy's made up plenty. He finished in number 21, has finished third. Well, Toyota's Bruiser Cruiser Cup, and this is always a pretty good feature. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Steve Reed goes from pole in number 3. Ron Gillard, Trevor Ashby, Peter Dane, Bob Stansfield and Rick Bates. Not too many starters in this race, but it should be fairly competitive, Rossell.
Will be, because these cars are all very similar. They're the exact Toyota Cruisers. Similarly powered, same type of wheel, so it all gets down to just driver ability here, and Steve Reed and Ron Gillard will lead the charge behind the pace car as they come into the start zone.
Well, the race is over 3 laps, and we're waiting for the green light to go through, and the pace car to leave the circuit, which in fact has done now, and it seems an eternity before they get to the start finish line. They're there now, and away they go with Steve Reed and Ron Gillard just getting the slighter upper hand there on the start as they cross the start finish line, and slipping through Trevor Ashby on the inside there. But as they go down the home straight for the first time at this Bruiser Cruiser Cup for Toyotas, holding the inside line, Steve Reed.
Steve Reed with the advantage. As you can see, they're very, very evenly matched. It really does get down to driver ability here and being able to keep it all together. And Steve Reed coming under some challenge from Ron Gillard in the green Toyota Cruiser, and in third place Trevor Ashby. That's the white Toyota Cruiser number 1. He's going to really see if he can put some pressure onto these two in front of him, Steve Reed and Ron Gillard. But Steve Reed, the man who shows the way, and really nothing between all 6 Toyota Cruisers as they head up in the Yamaha Dog League.
Yeah, you're right, Roscoe. Even Rick Bates has got away quite well. He started on the back of the grid, and he's made his way up through to third spot now, as you can see there in number 5, slipping through on the inside of Trevor Ashby. But at this stage, with Steve Reed hooking out nice and wide, and Ron Gillard, Reed leads from Gillard, and then we have Trevor Ashby and Rick Bates with Bob Stansfield and Peter Dane making up the 6 here. But as they go down the home straight for the second last time, there are another 2 laps to go. The Land Cruiser of Steve Reed is in front, and then there's a batch of them there behind the leader at the moment. And as Ross mentioned, they are all identically powered, identically set out, and it is really the driver that gets them home here. The driver ability takes quite a place here. And Rick Bates is making a real move now, isn't he, Ross? In fact, he's going to slip up the second spot as they turn this left hand.
That's a good move. Everybody was sort of settling down into a pattern there, and Rick decided, well, I'm going to split all this up, and went up into second place because Steve Reed is starting to sneak away a little from them as they come into the Yamaha dogleg. Now the gap closes. Look at them running nose to tail. See, there's another move by Rick Bates on the inside. He'll grab the lead coming into home straight away.
It's a great bit of driving from Rick Bates there. We tried to pick it a bit earlier for you, and he was starting to move through the field there. They'll take the last lap board here now, and as you can see, they can throw a blanket over these as they cross the start-finish line in basically the same order as they did when they left it, except for the fact that Rick Bates has made his way through from last through to first.
Rick Bates now, the race leader in the Toyota Bruiser Cruiser Cup. There hasn't been a lot of bruising at the moment. All these guys have raced fairly cleanly, with the number 7 of Ron Gillard now getting up on the inside of Rick Bates. He made a mistake. Bates paid dearly for it too, because it allowed Ron Gillard to get through, and even Stephen Reed started to put the pressure onto Rick Bates in just that one slight mistake.
Just taking on that camber angle too that you saw only a moment ago. That is quite a steep incline there as they went around that right-hander. It's quite steep indeed. Let's take a look back at our race leader now, and it's still Steve Reed, who was staving off Rick Bates at the moment. Can Batesy do something around the top corner? Well, only time will tell. And Trevor Ashby further back, but Ron Gillard it is. Now there's Steve Reed. It's Rick Bates making his way through again as they get to the top of the left-hander. So this has been a great drive from Rick Bates.
Rick Bates will come in to take the checkered flag in
Incredible
the Red
performance.
Toyota Cruiser. Big drive.
And he beats Ron Gillard. We'll check third in just a moment. It might have been Steve Reed. In fact, it was Steve Reed there in the yellow Land Cruiser. But an interesting race and a very good drive to Rick Bates in number 5. We'll take a break and be back with more action for you from Oran Park after this.
Race 2 for the HQ Holdens. And the grid shows 3, Russell Becker in position 1, 43, Frank Puterich in 2, 16, Will Cook in 3, 98, Steve Butchart in 4, 41, Charles Taquino in 5, Bob Hepburn in 86 position 6, position 7, 49, Greg King, 28, Ben Walsh is in 8, 31, Michael Auld in 9, and position 10, 15, Grant Chesham. Second race for these guys, and the 43, Frank Puterich on the outside of the pole position. He'll be looking for the whole shot as we get set for the start in the second race of this series, the VG Auto Paint Series. Very even start by the front 4 cars on the grid, with Russell Becker getting away to a terrific start on the inside. Will Cook made a better start of it this time than he did in race 1, and in the red HQ Holden, he's moving up on the inside. 3 cars fighting for turn number 1 in race 2 for the HQ Holdens.
It was a great start, wasn't it, Ross? And Russell Becker, Frank Puterick and Willie Cook, the top 3 here, have sorted themselves out now as they do that left-hander at the bottom of the straight for the first time, and it'll be Frank Puterick just shading Russell Becker, and Willie Cook there just in behind them there, looking for the split on the way through. But as they take the left-hander, it's a real go between Frank and also Russell at the moment, with Steve Butchart and Charles Taquino getting away well, and Bobby Hepburn also away smartly. So the first 5 or 6 cars have got themselves an even order at the present time. They made the left-hander into the home straight now, and we'll see exactly what's transpired in lap number 1, suggesting Frank Puterick will be in front by about a car length from Russell Becker. And in fact, that is exactly the way it is, with number 16, Will Cook, and Stephen Butchart. They started from the first 4 on the pole, and they are the first 4 as they complete lap number 1.
Frank Puterick now the leader. Russell Becker tucked right behind and looking for an inside pass as they sweep into the left-hander. Will Cook is just behind them. Here's the move from Becker up on the outside of Puterick. Puterick under a lot of pressure at the moment. So too, for that matter, is Russell Becker, because Will Cook and Steve Butchart are really pounding along behind them, and not far out of the action either in this race is Bob Hepburn in the car number 86. In fact, he pushes through on the inside of Steve Butchart, and these cars very tightly bunched in the HQ Holden division. We've got a change of leader. Russell Becker takes up the running. Will Cook comes through on the inside. He gets second place in the Goodyear sweeper, and behind him is Frank Puterick back into third place after having the race lead.
Great to see these guys back here at Oran Park. The Holden HQ is very, very popular, and VG Auto Paints putting the series together. The series front runner, Russell Becker, extended his lead to a very impressive 100 points at the second round of the series. That was some 55 points ahead of his nearest rival, Steve Butchart, on 45. The question is, will Cook on 40, Charles Taquino on 35, and Frank Puterick tailing this trio on 28 points. The minor placings, and for out outright, for that matter, is still very much up for grabs. So it really is on here for the HQ Holdens. And the prize money too, Ross, very good, $3,000 in prize money, along with the trophies, have been allocated for the final round, which is on right now. So there's plenty to attract these guys to this track for today at Oran Park, and there's plenty happening on the circuit.
Yeah, here's problems back in the pack, I think, for the 86 car, Bob Hepburn, who left the circuit. Some of these guys taking some real risks and getting off onto the grass verge of the racetrack, which means it puts them into a pretty dicey situation when they try to swing back onto the asphalt. Makes it very difficult. These guys got a lot of skill to bring those cars back onto the race circuit. Here is a battle for the lead. Russell Becker in the white car, number 3, and the red car, 16, of Will Cook, up on the outside looking for the pass as they sweep into the left-hander at the bottom of Main Straight. Becker still has the advantage, but Cook about to try and climb into his boot lid.
I'll tell you what, it was pretty close there, but Becker riding it hard. There's that dip I was talking about. It's nice and deep down there, but Russell Becker now, he takes a clear advantage now over Will Cook, and they've spaced the others, I guess you could say, as far as this race is concerned. It's only a short course, this one, over only 5 laps, and the last lap board will come out, but they are clearly about 2 or 3 seconds in front of the third place car at the moment. So it is Willie Cook setting it after Russell Becker now with 1 lap remaining, and it'll be interesting to see what time they go around this final lap in.
Russell Becker down Main Straight away, but right behind. Look out for the move on Cook. They'll follow each other right down this Main Straight away. Becker will try and shake off the rush by Cook into the last corner as we've got the last lap. Here comes the charge by Cook. He's been forced up on the outside. This has been good driving by Becker to keep Will Cook out wide. He didn't give Cook the opportunity to come through on the inside, but we've still got half a lap left to run, and anything can happen, particularly when you've got Will Cook pounding away at the back bumper of Russell Becker.
I was wondering why Cookie didn't actually get out of that slipstream a bit earlier down the home straight and hook out a bit wider a bit earlier, but I think he might have left his run a bit late there because Russell Becker was able to close him out there at the bottom of the turn. Now with only half a lap to go, and Russell Becker showing clearly that he is the master of this HQ Holden driving. He is in front now from Willie Cook. Willie Cook doing his best to make one last attempt on Russell Becker, the race leader. It'll be to no avail because Russell Becker will take the checkered flag out. There's only about 50 metres to go, and Russell Becker takes the checkered flag from Willie Cook. Frank Puderick in 3rd spot, and he was followed in by Stephen Butchart, who finished in 4th in the HQ Holdens. But a very clean win to Russell Becker. Willie Cook tried hard, but Russell Becker in number 3, the winner of the HQ Holden Valvoline race here today. And a great drive. There's a good drive too from Stephen Butchart, who was in 3rd spot. But back to our race winner, Russell Becker. Righto, folks, the invitation challenge here for Wreck Our Hire, and an interesting race. Let's take a look at the grid positions as we have them on pole. Steve Glover in 101. Aaron Southern in number 53. Lofty Richardson in number 10. In position number 7 on the grid is Tom Hutchinson, Adrian Richardson, and Bert Winters. We've got the field here of what should be an interesting invitation challenge over 8 laps. Now they're just about set to go. The pace car leads them, and the green light is through, and away they go. And Steve Glover began very well on the inside, and beginning very quickly too in truck number 10 was Lofty Richardson, who's also got away to a good start, and Aaron Southern too in number 53. You can see they're in the 2nd spot early. Let's take a look as they go down the home straight for the first time into that left-hander, and leading the way is Steve Glover in number 101, and in fact he's got away quite somewhat. He leads by about 5 or 6 truck lengths now, and Steve Glover is showing a clean pair of wheels as he makes his way around the left-hand.
I think it might be Jerry Bajima who's worked his way into 2nd place, which we'll confirm as they come down to complete their lap through the Yamaha dogleg and into the Goodyear corner. It certainly is Jerry Bajima who's moved up into a clear 2nd placing. So it's Steve Glover out in front, Bajima running in 2nd, and he's under plenty of pressure at the moment by Aaron Southern, who holds down 3rd place. Down the Oran Park Main Straightaway, Steve Glover has the break. Catch me if you can, he says, and it's Jerry Bajima who has to do the catching at this stage, pushed through by Aaron Southern.
Okay, so that's the situation at the present time. And number 53 there is Adrian Southern as they do the left-hander at the bottom of the straight. Number 72 is Joe Sultana. He's being pursued by Lofty Richardson. He's well back there in number 21. Steve Glover going along quite well. There's number 72. That is Joey Sultana, who ran around in 58.50 in the qualifying time, which was about a second slower than Steve Glover. second fastest in qualifying.
Through Goodyear Sweeper, and our race leader is Steve Glover, but in second place Jerry Bajima starting to make up some ground and getting a little untidy coming down Main Straight was Glover. He's feeling the pinch already, even though Jerry Bajima is around about 25-30 metres back behind as they head into the sweeper at the bottom of Main Straight. There's the shot down Main Straightaway, which shows that Bajima is starting to close the ranks on race leader Glover. And sweeping into the left-hander at the bottom of Main Straight, it is Jerry Bajima giving chase to the race leader Steve Glover, who's enjoyed the advantage from the green flag fall, but now finding himself under some pressure. And those two are starting to dominate this race, moving right away from the minor place winners. It's Steve Glover and Jerry Bajima.
You'll notice also that Bert Winters has made up some good ground. He's in truck number 91, even though the leaders are a long, long way in front. Bert Winters down that home straight that previous occasion was really starting to make up some ground. So Bert Winters might be in the finish if things go his way. There's truck number 101 with Steve Glover there, 57.79. He did the lap time in yesterday, which qualified him for pole for this particular race. And he's going along quite nicely there as they cross the start-finish line. And he's about 2 or 3 seconds in front now of Jerry Bajima in number 22, who'll have the inside running here. And further back then to 53 and 72, Aaron Southern and Joey Sultana. And Bert Winters, you'll find, will be making up the sixth place getter in truck number 91 with number 10 behind him. Lofty Richardson still in the race as well.
Second place getter Jerry Bajima behind this man, the race leader, Steve Glover. Doing it well, tends to throw the truck around a bit. Look how hard he's working behind that wheel, really working overtime. I think this guy likes to throw the tail out as he comes through the corners. Got a real tail-wagging style, has Steve Glover. Can lose him a lot of ground, and Jerry Bajima might be saying, well, you keep swinging it around as much as you like, and I can start pegging back some ground on the race lead. But he just loves high-balling it out in front, Steve Glover.
Well, look at that, Roscoe. He tends to be looking like there's two parts of that truck there. The first part looks like it's all right, and then the back half of it looks like it's wailing all over the place. It doesn't look solid enough, does it, when he's going around those corners? But down the home straight, he looks nice and compact there. We'll just go through the minor placings here, boy. There's Jerry Bajima in number 22. And as we go further back in the field, number 72 is Joey Sultana, who's made up some ground on Aaron Southern. And Sultana has taken the third spot in front of Southern, and behind him is Bert Winters in number 91. Now I'm tipping Bert to make up a bit of ground here because he's done so well in the last couple of laps, doing some very, very quick laps in number 91 there, and that's Bert Winters.
They're trying to make up ground, even though, as you pointed out, it's back in some of the minor placings. These guys do compete for points across a series. This is the Rec Air Hire Invitation Challenge today, and Bert Winters will be keen to pick up as many high points as he can, and that is why he's trying so hard, even though he's well back down in the field as far as finishing placings concerned.
Steve Glover going well now, and Steve Glover is Louisville, that yellow Louisville, coming up on the inside there of a slower truck, number 15 of Adrian Richardson. And in fact has opened up a gap too as we speak. Steve Glover really starting to move ahead now. He, in fact, has got away from Jerry Bajima. And I don't know whether there's something wrong with Bajima's truck, but Rossi's not chasing as hard as he was. He had him inside early, but I think he's given up now, hasn't he?
No,
Bajima?
I guess you picked it. I think there might be something amiss with the Jerry Bajima vehicle, because he was right on the pace with Steve Glover, only about 20, 25 metres or so behind him, but is dropping right off, in fact, dropping off dramatically, because Glover has opened up a very, very handy break. Jerry Bajima in second place, and then we have in third spot Joe Sultana in the big yellow machine number 72, and he is in a clear third place at the moment.
Well, I think he's going to take second in a minute, Sultana, because if you just look back there, you'll notice that number 22 is slowing down. Then you'll find Sultana there is really starting to make up some ground now in number 72. By the time they get to the bottom of the home straight, it might be a little more of leeway or less leeway between these two trucks.
Yeah, Sultana is the firer there. That was a slower vehicle that Sultana was squeezing by in the Goodyear corner, And dropping back out of calculations as well, Aaron Southern, I think the attrition rate is starting to tell on grand final day. And they're really finding that Steve Glover is the man who's got a comfortable lead. Jerry Bajima, we feel, is suffering some problems with his vehicle in second placing. Third placing, Joe Sultana, he's done very well. He's running strongly at the moment, and he's shaken off the challenge of Aaron Southern, who I think is also having some mechanical problems. No problems for this guy. The big yellow bird is off and flying, Steve Glover in front.
And the last lap board will come out now for Steve Glover, and there is the last lap board for you right now. As Steve Glover takes it, and in about 59 or 57.79 seconds, he'll be home because he's really flying around the circuit and leading quite comfortably and quite clearly. The only problems that he'll ever have, if he doesn't get a mechanical problem, is slower traffic in front. But he's got a big enough gap to take the race out. Still wheeling and dealing out in front there in the big yellow machine. Bert Winters has slowed down. His truck number 91 has slowed down, so it's under pressure as well. So this particular invitational challenge, the Wreck Hair higher invitation challenge, will be taken up by Steve Glover quite convincingly as he makes his way around with only half a lap to go. So Steve Glover not far away from victory in the checkered flag. In second spot will be Jerry Bajima, but it's been a top drive from Steve Glover in the Louisville as he makes his way around that left-hander for the final time. A straight line, the big crowd looks on. He actually put it sideways there, but straightens it up again to take the checkered flag, and the invitational challenge to Steve Glover in 1:01 as he salutes to the marshals there. Pretty happy about the win. Now coming into second spot will be number 50, track 22, Jerry Bajima in second spot, and Joey Sultana will run into third spot in number 72. So that's the way they finish across the line in the invitation challenge, and the winner there in number 1:01, Steve Glover. Well, this has turned out to be one of the most competitive truck racing challenges of all time, and Rob Russell, who's still a chance of taking out the big one later on. Rob, good luck for your quest this afternoon and being the champion, but I tell you what, it's pretty close now at the top.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, it's very close. Probably the closest we've ever seen it in truck racing. I think there's only 7 or 8 points separating three of us, and any three of us can win the championship.
Well, what are your tactics going to be? I mean, I know you're going to try and get to the front and stay there, but there's going to be plenty of tactics employed by you this afternoon.
Oh, well, we were pretty lucky yesterday. We're on pole today, as you probably know. And our plan is to get out of all the bumping and shunting that hopefully be going on behind us.
Well, I guess you're lucky in one way that you've got 2 other blokes there that are nip and tuck at each other all the way, so you might be able to get the slip through and off you go.
Yeah, actually, the 2 others are both sponsored by big fuel companies, the Shell truck of Rodney Crick and the Mobile truck of Paul Freestone. And there's a bit of a power struggle there going on, so hopefully they'll be sorting themselves out and we might be able to get a break.
Truck's going all right?
Yeah, extra well. Really good.
Beauty. Good luck to you, Rob.
Thanks, Nick.
OK, there he is, Rob Russell, who's right in this in the thick of things. Let's take it back to Ross Allen.
They're running 1, 2, 3 in the series. The blue truck number 7, Rodney Crick. The local boy has lead of the series at the moment on 119 points. And then right behind him are Paul Freestone and Rob Russell. So any one of these 3 drivers could win this Australian Truck Championship outright at Oran Park.
And from pole, let's take a look at them. Rob Russell in number 40. Alongside him, Rodney Crick, Paul Freestone in number 60, Frank Gaffiro, Albert Siders, Arnold Arenfeld in truck number 41, the big red truck. Number 96, Frank Amoroso, Bill Siders, Michael Russell, and on the 10th spot on the grid, Jerry Bajima in number 22. They're going to make their slow crawl, and Ross Allen has joined us for the grand final here today. And Ross, this will be pretty exciting. There's no love lost between Paul Freestone and Rodney Crick, and the points are up for grabs.
And the first corner, I think, is going to be one of the corners that will be the telling corner of the race. 12 laps in this race number 1, and all important to get points on the scoreboard early in the first race today.
Let's take a look at them now. This is always exciting, this first lap, and there's going to be plenty on, let me tell you, by the time they've gone a minute or so into this race. They're pretty close to a start now. The pace car leads them now, waiting for the green light. It's through now, and away they go. The top 4 trucks are away to a fine start. Rob Russell, Rodney Crick, Paul Freestone, and Frank Gaffiro, with Rob Russell holding the inside line, but you just watch Rodney Crick there behind him, and also cutting across is Frank Gaffiro. There's only room for 2 trucks there, and 4 decided to go around the corner at once.
Freestone got right up onto the infield, lost a lot of ground too, and as they come out of the dust and the smoke, we still have Robbie Russell up in front, but Frank Gaffiro is the man who has made the early move. He got the whole shot through on the outside of Crick and Freestone as they fought for that first corner, and he's worked into a good second spot.
Well, there's a real battle on 2 between Rodney Crick and Paul Freestone, who are running in 3rd and 4th spot at the moment. They have wanted to try and and get the better hand of each other ever since the series began, and it's really on here, and the crowd are just loving it. Rob Russell leads them into the straight for the first time. Gafiro second, Crick third. Russell is really starting to show a clean pair of heels now. He leads by a second and a half now on Gafiro, then Crick, and then followed by Freestone, and Siders is up there too, with Amoroso also away to a fairly good start.
The big white truck 54 of Frank Gafiro is the man to chase out after the race leader, Rob Russell. He's going to carry the pack up to Russell if he can. A big responsibility for him, because right behind is series leader Rod Crick, and Crick does not want to be in third place. He wants to be up in the front of this Australian Truck Championship. He wants to take the checkered flag, and look at him now put the pressure back on Frank Gafiro, right behind and looking for an outside pass.
Well, all trucks are still on the circuit. There haven't been any accidents after a lap and a half, which is really quite amazing with the tension and the pressure of the early part of this event. But it's really on now in the second lap of this particular event, with Frank Gafiro now setting it after Rob Russell. There is Rodney Crick right there, and to make a line of 4 is Paul Freestone in number 60. So who's got the horsepower? By the way, it's a 1-minute penalty to Bill Siders too. He's copped a 1-minute penalty. We're not exactly sure what it's for. Might have been for going off the circuit and using the shortcuts, but Rob Russell starting to spread them out just a little bit. Here's the challenge on between Freestone and Crick. That's black versus blue there, with Rodney Crick holding the inside line and once again defying the passing attempt of Paul Freestone.
But the Volvo of Rod Crick is under a lot of pressure from the big Kenworth of Paul Freestone, and just ahead of them Frank Gafiro in the Kenworth as well. So it's the Volvo in a Kenworth sandwich here at the moment behind race leader Robbie Russell, and Frank Gafiro is the man who's feeling all the pressure.
Crick's off the circuit.
Crick has taken a shortcut. Somebody give him the road map. He left the circuit and tried to get through on the inside of Frank Gafiro, and he might find himself receiving a penalty from officials if he can't keep his driving clean and tidy.
Arnold Ahrenfeld's coming off the circuit now, and Arnold, you'll... Frank Amoroso's gone into Yamaha corner. Arnold Ahrenfeld is off the circuit now, so it's trouble down there on the far side of the circuit. We won't have to get some adjudication here. There is Frank. He's quite okay. That's good. So they'll have to be very tentative. There is number 41, the Muscat Trailers entry of Arnold Ahrenfeld. He's off the circuit. So when I mentioned there was no problems, the minute I did that, we've got 2 out of the race already. They'll have to go quietly around this corner where Frank Amoroso's truck is.
There will be caution flag in that area. Frank Amoroso hitting the concrete wall. It's unforgiving, that concrete wall in that section of the track. But I guess whilst we were looking at the battle for the minor placings, we've forgotten about the talents and the ability of Rob Russell, who's out in front in 40 and leading the way in the O'Brien Aluminium Kenworth. He's setting a terrific pace. It's more or less a catch-me-if-you-can type pace that Russell is setting. That's his tactic, and maybe that'll be the tactic that will pay winning dividends for him, while the rest fight cat and dog behind him. He can enjoy clear track space up front, although I did detect some smoke starting to billow from the Rob Russell truck. I don't know whether maybe he might have locked the brake going into that corner, or maybe he might be starting to experience a mechanical problem.
All right, well, only time will tell there, as we've got a replay coming through of the accident. You can just see on your screen there as Rob Russell passes Frank Amoroso. This is what we picked up. This is the tail end of the accident there for Amoroso, and as you can see, he's hit the wall pretty well side on there. No major damage. Well, I guess there's plenty of damage done to the truck, but a head-on is a lot worse than a side-on. He's able to flick it into the wall side-on, and Frank is okay, which is good news. So off the circuit into the wall side-on. Along with him went Arnold Ahrenfeld. Only a moment or two later, he had mechanical problems and had to bring his car in field. Now, the dice is still on between Gafiro and Rodney Crick down the home straight. There's Amoroso, the green truck, who leads quite comfortably. Now, Rodney Crick's going to try and take Gafiro this time around. He's pulled out wide. Gafiro holding the inside line. Rodney Crick still pressing on out wide. Can he get around him? It's going to be touch and go. Crick's still going to be trying to get around him. He's not going to give up. It's neck and neck here. Crick, oh, what a magical bit of driving. Gafiro's not giving in. Crick's fighting on the outside, and he takes the horsepower. Gafiro went infield, and Crick slipped away. Great bit of driving.
Yeah, Gafiro did a bit of hay baling there, but good pressure from Rodney Crick. He drove aggressively. He knows that he's got to stay right in touch with this race leader, Rob Russell. He needs the points, and Rodney Crick is driving very, very aggressively in the Volvo now. He is going for broke, because I guess we're into the second half of this opening race for the Australian Truck Championships.
Okay, well, Rob Russell leads by about 5 seconds now on Rodney Crick, Frank Cafiro, and then Paul Freestone. Paul Freestone certainly not out of it. Then Billy Siders there. In fact, Albert Siders in number 6 is running in the 5th spot. But there's the situation with Rodney Crick on screen there, and Frank Cafiro just in behind him. Rob Russell is the race leader, with Paul Freestone in 3rd and 4th spot at the present time, and not really a threat at the moment to Rodney Crick.
Yeah, interesting tactic by Freestone. Perhaps he saw that the dice that was involving Rodney Crick and Frank Cafiro ahead of him. I guess he may have been hoping for the fact that one of those two drivers would again bring themselves undone, but such was not the case, and I think we might find that Paul Freestone might start to try and make some moves now, because the tactic of waiting and seeing what was going to happen hasn't paid off for him, so he will start to work away at the white 54 of Frank Cafiro and the black number 60 of Paul Freestone as they fight for 3rd and 4th place.
He's chopped it back to about 3 seconds now, Rodney Crick. He must have made up a couple of seconds on that last lap. There must be about 3 or 4 to go here, so I reckon Crick is not out of this one. He's now chasing Rob Russell pretty hard. He's drawn away now, Ross, as you can see, from Frank Cafiro, and is now setting it up for the big green truck.
Well, you called the shots right, because Rodney Crick has now decided it is go for broke. He is going to throw everything into the Volvo to try and peg back the lead of Rob Russell. Take nothing away from Russell. He's driven a cool and calm race. There's been plenty of action behind him, and it's always difficult to be a front runner and know just what's going on behind. But he's getting good signals from his pit crew. He's getting good lead-ins and is managing to be able to hold this break, although Rodney Crick is...
The only trouble he's going to have is getting around some of that slower traffic too, and as you can see, Crick loomed up nice and quick there on that shot. So Rob Russell, he leads by around about the 3-second mark. There's not a lot between that lap and this one here, and it's Russell now still leading from Rodney Crick, and they've now spaced the others. In fact, Frank Cafiro back in 54 and Paul Freestone, they'll be fighting out 3rd and 4th, but well, as you can see, the gap is certainly starting to close now, and they are really pushing it hard, especially Rodney Crick. And as Ross mentioned to him before, not easy to do it from in front, easy to go from behind when you can see exactly what's happening. But Rob Russell, to his credit, is driving nice and cool at the moment, but Rodney Crick, he's not going to give up, and there's only 2 laps to go.
Certainly making every effort to peg back that distance, but we see that Rodney Crick is having difficulty pegging back that lead, and now Freestone is starting to make his move in the black number 60, trying to make his move on the white number 54 of Frank Cafiro. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th place at the moment behind our top 2 runners. Cafiro has been under plenty of pressure as Rob Russell setting the pace. There's the gap between he and Rod Crick.
It's 2 seconds now, so Crick is starting to move up ever so slowly on Rob Russell, and there's a great dice on, as Ross mentioned, between Cafiro and Freestone for 3rd and 4th place, and Freestone wants the points too, there's no question about that. Now Rodney Crick, he's now starting to move a little bit closer to Rob Russell, but Rob Russell, to his credit, just hanging on there, doing all the right things, holding onto the circuit. Crick, he's doing a little bit more than Russell at the moment. He's using up more of the circuit. He's driving just a little bit more aggressively, but Rob Russell holding it all together at the moment, and he can see the winning check and is in his sights, and also that elusive, I guess it's an elusive check flag to him at the moment, because Crick now starting to really pour on the pressure. He made up plenty of ground around that corner, and this is going to be a real dice on for the last couple of laps here, Ross Allen, because Rodney Crick has made it to the bumper bar of Robbie Russell.
Down main straightaway, nothing now between these 2 trucks, and Rob Russell has got the message from his pit crew that he's going to have to get a move on, because Cricky is coming after him. Rob Russell, the leader. Rod Crick now closing ranks as they go into this corner at the bottom of the main straightaway, but it's in the back section of the track that Rodney Crick seems to do better than Rob Russell, and that's where he makes his ground, and he'll be trying to do that again on this lap around.
It is around that far corner here, the Yamaha dogleg, that Rodney Crick is taking up some ground. We're just going to keep our eye on them now. I can tell you that Crick seems to have plenty of horsepower there as they go around this part of the circuit where it's been so good to him. In fact, he's picking up a little more ground as I speak now, and this is the part of the circuit where he really starts to pick up a little bit, and as you can see there, he'll get to the bumper of Rob Russell just prior to turning into the home straight. There's 1 lap to go. This will be the last lap board coming up now for these 2 guys, and it's going to be right on here. I don't know whether Rodney Crick can actually catch Robbie Russell. There's only about 2 seconds in them, and it is very, very close. Leon Thorpe is off the circuit of the big BP entry. He's already gone, so let's take a look now at the final lap. Rob Russell v. Rodney Crick.
Truck 40, truck 7, the top 2 trucks, also the top 2 of the 3 trucks in the series. Rod Crick now, he'll throw caution to the wind. He will put everything into this last half lap to try and peg back Rob Russell, and particularly when they come into that Yamaha dogleg section of the circuit as they head up the slope towards that section now. Rodney Crick has got it all to do with about 500 metres to home.
Well, Russell's still going along well. This is the part of the circuit where Crick really starts to give it some, but this time Russell's holding on a little more, and the Crick didn't get quite as close to Russell here. It's the last turn, the left-hander into the home straight. The checkered flag is out. There's plenty of horsepower for Rob Russell, and Rob Russell will take the checkered flag. He beats Rodney Crick by about a second and a half. Frank Cafiro ran into 3rd spot. Paul Freestone was 4th, so it was a good dice for 2nd and 3rd, and also for 3rd and 4th spot there. But there's the race winner, and congratulations to him, Rob Russell, in race number 1 of the Australian Truck Racing Championship. An exciting event. Rob Russell started from pole position and made every post a winner, and a great front-running display from Rob Russell in number 40. Well, Rob Russell holds the trophy high after the first race of the Australian Truck Racing Championships here at Oran Park, and well, a great front-running display. Rob, congratulations to you.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks very much. We didn't have it all our own way.
Tell us about the race. Rodney Crick kept getting you under brakes, didn't he, around the far Yamaha dogleg there, and that might have been a problem to you?
Yeah, you probably couldn't see as well as I could up there in the truck, but down the end of the straight here was really hammering me there. Actually, we tried these new brake linings that we tested them through the week and thought they were okay, but apparently under race conditions they're not, and they went about 5 laps and they were gone.
Well, you got the start from pole there. That was your aim to get out in front, and then we had problems with Freestone and Crick wanting to dice at each other. That left you out in front, but then when he started coming to you under the brakes, that's when you had your race sorted out for you as well, didn't you?
Put it back together. Remember, like I predicted before, I thought that had happened. Anyhow, we have got the 8-year-old linings, so we'll put them back on, but they go about 8 laps.
Well, you got one under the hammer and another one to go, mate. Good luck.
One to go. Thanks, Nick.
Okay, Rob Russell there. Victory in the first race of the Australian Truck Racing Championships in the grand final. Okay, won't be long now before this plane goes down the home straight here at Oran Park. Making some final adjustments. The pilot there, as you can see, is making his way into the sky here. And the conditions aren't the best either. I can tell you it's hardly a crystal clear day. We've got very heavy rain clouds coming in from the west. That is not me that is told to go into this plane and do some aerobatic stunts to keep the crowd happy for a while. Down he goes, turning home straight. And shortly he'll be taking off. He'll be airborne. Throttle back. There he goes. Got some speed, and it won't take him long before he's away. They've got plenty of speed up here. The Konica plane about to lift up, and there it goes. Gee, it took to the air nice and quickly. So let's just relax now and enjoy some of the great air display here from the Konica Air Display aerobatic team. Now, this is the Top Gun series. The fastest 6 trucks from practice will complete over 3x3 lap races. Pretty exciting stuff. And let's go from the inside. It is Bill Cedars, Arnold Arenfeld, Robbie Russell, Rodney Crick, Bill Siders and Leon Thorpe. They're all there to contest the Top Gun. And the grid positions 1 and 2 will go to the rear of the grid at the finish of every event, and all competitors will have a start from the front row of the grid. So it's very, very exciting. The green light about to go through on the first of the Top Gun, and look at Rodney Crick start from out wide. He began beautifully there. The pace car leads them, and at this point it's Cedars in front from Robbie Russell in number 40, and Rodney Crick making it 3 abreast there as they go around the corner for the first time. Cedars and Russell, Crick and Arenfeld.
Only 3 sudden death laps, and it's Albert Cedars in yellow, number 6, who has the lead from Rob Russell, who's done so well right throughout the season in the truck racing division, and he's up there in 2nd place. And the man who has chased him all the way this year, Rod Crick, is right behind.
Ross, you'd be thinking that Rodney Crick would be getting absolutely fed up of seeing the back of Rob Russell's truck.
Well, I think he might even try and do something about it in this Top Gun series, because there's a chance. This is where you have to really go for broke right from the word go. Only 3 sudden death laps, then straight back into another 3 after this. So Rodney Crick, I think, will say, I am sick and tired of the side of the back end of this guy's truck. I'm going to see the left front.
Well, none of it at all. There he goes now as he makes a move up on the inside of Russell there. Crick behind Cedars' yellow truck, the MAN. And I don't know about Crick getting through there. Russell and Crick. Yes, Russell on the inside, Crick on the outside, and Crick on the inside. Russell, yeah, he's taken him there. So nice bit of driving from Rodney Crick. And for once, for quite some time, we've got Robbie Russell behind Rodney Crick. And now Crick will set out after Cedars. And I reckon he's got the horsepower to get Cedars too, even though Cedars started from pole. He's still leading the race. He's only 1.5 laps remaining. So Rodney Crick coming through on the inside now of Cedars. It's 3 trucks going on quite quickly here. The trucks of Cedars, Crick and also Robbie Russell, and well back to Arnold Arenfeld.
Through the Yamaha dogleg into the Goodyear sweeper to bring them back into main straight. Still Albert Cedars, who had pole position, defies Rod Crick to run him down. Look out, Rob Russell's looming up on the outside. Rod Crick looms up on the
Crick's
outside.
got him for sure.
Yeah, he's nailed him down the Oran Park big straight away. And Rod Crick in the Volvo takes up the running. Cedars moves out wide to come back at him.
Look at Russell.
Russell diving on the inside. This is Dodgem car stuff going into the corner. Rod Crick still has the lead, but Rob Russell coming through on the inside to try and take the advantage away. What a super performance by these two.
Great stuff there from Rodney Crick as he defies Rob Russell, and at this point, with a lap to remain and the checkered flag to come out from the first of the Top Gun series, Rodney Crick will more than likely beat Rob Russell here, and further back to Arnold Arenfeld, who's making up some ground on Billy Siders.
Watch out for this last corner through the Yamaha dogleg and into the Goodyear sweeper. Rob Russell's moving out wide. Is he planning some sort of inside pass on Rod Crick? He's only got main straight away to do it.
Well, let's take a look at them now as they come down the main straight, and the first of the Top Gun. First points will go to Rodney Crick, Rob Russell in 2nd spot, and 3rd home will be Billy Cedars, followed by Arnold Arenfeld, and then we have Leon Thorpe, and also truck number... we missed one there, 2 along the way. Who was it, Roscoe?
He had the number 6 of Albert Cedars, the 41 of Arenfeld, followed by Bill Cedars, and then it was Leon Thorpe, the last one to greet the checkered flag in the first of the Top Gun series.
OK, what will happen now is that they will reverse grids, and the positions 1 and 2 will go to the rear of the grid, which will make the race very exciting. It always does. So there won't be any delay here. They'll just organise themselves. This will be quite a good challenge between Rodney Crick and Rob Russell, who will now be leading off. Thorpe has gone in behind Rodney Crick. Then we have Siders, and taking up the back will be Arnold Arenfeld. I'm looking forward to seeing it when Arnold Arenfeld takes grid number 1, because he's number 41. His truck was very competitive, Ross, a few seasons back. And I am looking forward to seeing how quickly he will go when he gets pole.
Well, the other guys would be saying, well, what's the point here? We've just had Rob Russell and Rod Crick fight out 1 and 2 from the first race, and now they have to have their turns on the front row of the grid. So the other 4 drivers will be trying to do the best they can to pick up the big swag of points behind the top 2, Rob Russell and Rod Crick. They're behind the pace car.
Who are you tipping to get down this home straight first up? Because this is a perfect perfect opportunity for these two to have a real gun go at the home straight.
Rob Russell will no doubt take up the advantage of the inside running, and Rod Crick will have it all to do going into the first corner. Rob Russell will do a Tom Cruise and be Top Gun into turn 1.
All right, well, I'm going to go against you, Roscoe. I reckon Crick will get him here on the home straight the first time. I reckon he might just cross over here because I know he's got the horsepower to do it. We'll have a look and see what happens at the fly start. There they go. Aha! Look at this. Rodney Crick and Rob Russell. Crick on the outside of Russell. Who's got the horsepower? Well, Ross tipped it on the inside. Robbie Russell with that inside running there. Crick won't give up, though. Rob Russell still holds the inside line. Rodney Crick out wide who's going to try and cross him. Oh, gee, it's going to be pretty close here. Crick on the outside of Rob Russell. Russell holding the inside. Yeah, you were spot on, Ross, and Russell with a good bit of driving holds the inside.
Good move by Albert Cedars in third place. We know the ability of these top two blokes in front, and look at Rod Crick. He will not give in. He's like a bulldog on the outside. That's a touch. Rod Crick into the wall, off onto the grass somehow. Oh, he just missed the concrete wall.
Yeah, he's still going, and he's trying to find the surface again. He's done so. Gee, what an amazing bit of driving there from Rodney Crick to hold on to this thing. He was going at probably the top speed he'd be going at around that corner there. They did touch Rob Russell there and Rodney Crick, and oh, gee, what a great performance to hold on to the thing.
That's the excitement of Top Gun, the Top Gun series, just 3 laps. You can't take any chances. The Albert Siders and Bill Siders combination hold down 3rd and 4th placing. Leon Thorpe is 2nd last as they charge down main straight away with Arnold Ahrenfeld tacked onto the back of the pack.
Pretty exciting stuff up front with a lap and a half to remain here. This is the second race of the Top Gun series. Rodney Crick now after Rob Russell again. And very exciting stuff. He doesn't give in, Rodney Crick. He's pushing this truck as far as he can possibly go. And he's right up to the bumper bar again of Rob Russell.
So Rod Crick with it all to do at the moment. This is what Rob Russell needs. He needed to get in front here because then the winner of the last race of this Top Gun series, the driver who finishes in front in this combination will take it out, because it was Rod Crick who won the previous race. Rob Russell had to get in front, which is why he was so determined in that opening section of the race. And Rob Russell and Rod Crick chase it away into the second of the races in our Top Gun 3x3.
Okay, well, Russell's still holding the middle of the track at the moment. He'll cross down in front of Rodney Crick now before they take this left-hander at the bottom of the home straight, and Russell leads quite clearly from Crick there. Crick trying to hold that inside line, and as Russell rolls off, he was going to get through between, but the Volvo there not handling as well as Crick would have liked it to on that occasion, and Rob Russell showing a clean pair of wheels at the moment.
Has he made a mistake? Because Crick could wrap it up here if he dives up at him. Crick's making the dive.
He has. He's got him on the inside, Rodney Crick, and he's passed him.
Well, he'll wrap up the Top Gun series unless Russell can get past him in the last half lap.
Incredible bit of driving from Rodney Crick. Now, he's only got less than half a lap to go. Now Russell and Crick. Russell on the inside of Crick. This has been a game performance from Rodney Crick. So he comes into the home straight now, really holding onto this thing, and down he goes to get this checkered flag. It's been a great drive, and Rodney Crick, the winner, he's happy about it. Why wouldn't he be? Second home there was Rob Russell, and third will be Bill Cedars in front of Albert Siders. And then we have Arnold Ahrenfeld, and Thorpe was last, Leon Thorpe. But that's the second race of the Top Gun. Really an amazing set of circumstances surrounding the accident there between these two, the bump that they both had. Now, Ross, just talk us through this one. What happened here?
Well, we got Russell coming up on the inside, used a little bit of dirt, and maybe that was the costly mistake. You just lose that little bit of territory. Crick gets up on the outside. Russell does not want to back off. That's where they got the touch. But look at the control of Rod Crick. He almost lost it. A little fishtail. Look at that, centimetres away from the concrete wall. Cloud of dust, and out the other side comes Rod Crick, A-OK.
Oh, the crowd loved it, didn't they? Okay, so the third race of the Top Gun series sees that the two heavyweights will be at the tail of the field. I don't know why he stalled his truck there, Rob Russell, but he's not taking part in the early score-up. Now he's back in the business again. And Rob Russell making up some ground now as they make their way. The third race there's Rob Russell. He just started the field there, and he stopped his truck and started it again. He'll tack onto the tail of the field.
Quick tied up with points, Nick, shows that 2 from 2 for Rod Crick puts him on 24. 2 second placings to Rob Russell puts him on 20, and 2 third placings to Albert Cedars puts him on 16. So really,
in actual fact, Russell can win this.
Well, he can, but Rod Crick would have to finish down somewhere in around about 4th or 5th place, and well, I know he's starting off the back of the pack, but we could hardly estimate that he's going to run second last or last.
Well, I haven't seen Arnold Orenfeld off the front of the position yet. Have you seen that?
Yeah, in the very opening race.
The opening race he was.
Outside pole.
Fair enough, all right. Okay, so let's take a look at them now. And Thorpe and Cedars.
Cedars trying to sneak it here on the start.
There's the start now. Oh, no, it's a full start. Full start has been signified.
Yeah, I think the...
signified full start.
The official might have not been happy with the way Albert Cedars had used the apron of the track to try and get a hole shot on the cars in front of him. So an untidy start, and the start official wants them all to pack up and grid up, make a better lineup of it. But Robbie Russell, I think he thinks the race is still on, Nick.
As far as I'm concerned, they think the race is still on. There's no question about that. They don't push the race. They don't push their trucks like this on a rescheduled warm-up, on a rescheduled lap.
We must have some red flags, surely, from the corner stewards, whether they've missed the false start too. But we saw a red light come up, surely.
It's definitely a false start. There's no question about that. I saw the light go through, and in fact, we've got the marshals pointing across to some of the flag marshals there. Now, what I'm suggesting is that the grid wasn't the right way round in the initial part. I think that's what's happened.
We should have had.
Anyway, we'll check that out.
The 99 and the 3 on the front row of the grid, which we've got now. Then the 6 and the 41, the 40 and the 7. That's the right grid order.
Okay, well, Rob Russell might have started passing trucks before the actual light went through. That might have been the official ruling there, but I was a bit worried. I thought that maybe Arnold Orenfeld was out of position on the grid, but that wasn't the case. So there'll be a restart. All the drivers have been told that there will be a restart.
Well, a controversial Top Gun here on grand final day. And
Billy Sider's shaking his head there in truck number 6. He's not happy with this. He's won the event. He won that last race. Or actually, in fact, his brother Albert won that race. So he wasn't happy with the restart. He was shaking his head there. There he goes now.
Yeah, he's not happy with the things. So he's very uncomfortable in the truck cabin, saying, what is going on here? Let's get this Top Gun series fired up.
They make their crawl with Cedars and Thorpe, Cedars, Orenfeld, then Crick on the outside of Rob Russell. And the Joey Scarcella entry there and the final of the tail of the field. But right now, this is the third race. Pretty exciting stuff about to occur here now as these 6 trucks make their way down the straight for the Top Gun. There's the green light. There's no problems here. And Thorpe and Cedars with Rodney Crick at the tail of the field. And Robbie Russell in front of him. So we've got 2 and then a block of 3.
Look at Russell looking for the split here between the front 2. That's Bill Cedars and Leon Thorpe charging into the corner. And Russell in truck number 40 moving up on the outside, but going through on the inside and trapping him out wide was Albert Cedars. Rod Crick saw this. He went through on the inside. This is Top Gun action at its best with Leon Thorpe. Oh, getting a bump there at the sided combination going off onto the infield. Albert Siders going right on the infield, right out of contention. Bill Siders is in the lead. Rod Crick is into second. Leon Thorpe is third. And Rob Russell chasing up in fourth.
Well, they're not staying on much of the circuit. They're all over the place at the moment as Rodney Crick now heading out after Cedars, and Thorpe is going along quite well as well. Robbie Russell in between those as they go around the left-hander before they get to the home straight. Cedars leading from Rodney Crick. Will probably get him up on the inside here without any question of doubt. And there he goes. Rodney Crick now picking up the Cedars entry, and Rodney Crick will take him down the home straight. Following through, guess who? Yeah, you got it. Rob Russell once again.
So Rod Crick looking to make it 3 from 3. This is a 3-by-3 series. 2 wins from 2 starts so far to Cricky, and it looks as if he's going to try and make it 3.
Oh, gee, Cedars really tailing it there as he tries to stay on the circuit and was able to do so. And there he goes, Rob Russell off the track at the moment. He's absolutely flying, but he'll be disqualified for that for sure. He's actually taken 3/4 of a lap. He's gone right across the infield there. You can't do that sort of thing.
I think he needs a Gregory Street directory at the moment, because Rod Crick has raced away through the Yamaha dogleg into the Goodyear sweeper. And
there he goes. He gave it too much, Rob Russell. Where's he going to end up? Oh, can't see a thing. There he goes. He's onto the side of the circuit there. And Rob Russell gave it far too much. And in actual fact, is going to slip back onto the circuit there. But
gee whiz, we didn't know where he was going to end up there. It was all smoke. This thing's not just not handling at all. Look at it.
Something's got to be amiss with the steering and suspension on the number 40, because Russell's just having a real armful at the moment, an arm wrestle with that truck, and the fans just loving every moment of it.
Well, he got the applause of the crowd when he went off the circuit there. He put it into that spin. Absolutely adore that sort of action. Now this is Rod Crick and Cedars in the green and the yellow truck. That's yellow, not green. And there's Arn Laurenfeld running in the third spot, but they'll get the checkered flag here with a half a lap to remain. And Rodney Crick, who's been all conquering here, he'll take up the checkered flag from Albert Cedars. In fact, that's Billy Cedars, and in third spot, Arnold Laurenfeld more than likely will get third because of the other trucks in there. But here comes the checkered flag right now, and Rodney Crick will take out the checkered flag in the Top Gun Series. Second home in number 3, Bill Cedars, and Arnold Laurenfeld has finished in third spot. So a great bit of driving there from Rodney Crick, and we do believe that there is a little oil on the circuit. And we believe that that's the oil flag that is showing there. The red and brown flag there, I think it's an oil flag, and that's what the marshals are signalling there. There are problems there with Rob Russell's truck as he went off the circuit. He might have struck some oil there. My golly, he was so lucky he didn't go slamming into a wall. We welcome you back to Oran Park in New South Wales, and this is the final of the Australian Sports Sedan Championship. It should be a terrific race, and the big crowd looking on in anticipation as to who's going to take this one out. Let's go from pole. Keith Carling in 14, Des Wall, David Adhart, Barry Jamieson, Kerry Bailey, Ian Luff in grip position 6, Paul Barnett, Alfred O'Cisa, Bruce Banks and Peter O'Brien as the lights are through now, and they are away now in the Australian Sports Sedan Championship. And Ross Allen is with me to see this event, and I tell you what, they've started 3 across the track here, Roscoe.
David Adhart got away to a super start in the red car, number 49. He was on second place on the grid. We've also got a car in trouble. He is our current series leader,
Kerry Bailey,
getting away very badly at the start. In fact, he may have broken an axle, maybe a main drive shaft, getting a little too much drive on the grid area. And so the series leader in the Australian Sports Sedan Championship misses out on the start in the all-important first round.
What a sensation that is, too, for Kerry Bailey to be out of business so early. But let's take a look at our race leader at the moment as they turn the corner into the home straight for the first time. And leading the charge in 14 is Keith Carling. And then David Adhart is there with Des Wall in number 26. These guys are flying around the circuit here, too, at Oran Park. They are going at some fair speed.
These cars very, very highly prepared with more or less like a Formula One bodies underneath the race shape. The chassis really more resemble Formula One cars, and they can really move, as we've pointed out. The guy who's moving it best of all, Keith Carling in the yellow car number 14. That's the Nissan 300 ZX, and he's opening up an incredible lead at this early stage of this 10-lap event. And the other cars are going to have to find really something different to get hold of this race leader.
Well, he's certainly put up Keith Carling, and they are motoring down the home straight. 45 is Barry Jamieson. He's running in 4th spot at the moment, but the pace has been set here by Keith Carling. He drove a qualifying time of 41.67, which was marginally quicker than Des Wall at 41.76. Now Des is driving a 26. 42.02 was the next best, David Adhart, and the slowest was Peter O'Brien, 46.32 seconds. So there was 5 seconds between the first 9 competitors here on the grid as far as the Sports Sedan's Championship is concerned.
Look at this nice between Adhart in car 49 running 3rd and car 45 Jamieson in 4th place. Now both these guys realise that they have a good chance of grabbing the lead in this series because, as we pointed out, series leader Kerry Bailey blew it at the start. He either dropped a main drive shaft or maybe burnt out a clutch. We'll check out a little later on. But that these two guys are sitting in second and third place overall in the series. They know that the series leader is out of contention. They can pick up the big points. Car 45, Barry Jamieson, currently holding down third place in the series overall, is now edging ahead of car 49, David Haddard. This is Jamieson. He's the man who wants to put himself in calculations to win the Australian Sports Sedan Championship. He wants to do well in this round. He has one more round left today to perhaps snatch the title.
Well, he's on 50 points at the present time, just prior to the accident of Terry Bailey on the grid today, and Bailey had 87, so he can make up quite so many points, and in fact Barry Jamieson can take out the championship if everything goes well for him, but he's right up there at the moment. In car number 14 is Keith Carling, and Carling is going along very well indeed. Carling hasn't scored in the top 5 or 6 though in the point score system over the last 5 or 6 rounds, but certainly he's really given them something to think about today in this big yellow machine, Keith Carling. Des Wall, well, Des is doing okay too. He's in number 26, and there is Des there. Des has been very competitive in racing for quite so many seasons now, and today is no exception as he wheels around the left-hander into the home straight, and he sets sail after Keith Carling.
He's got the Toyota Supra wound right up at the moment, Des Wall, and is starting to peg back a little bit of ground on Carling, and that long shot gives us the chance to see that Barry Jamieson is not all that far out of calculations either. And with 10 laps ahead, the race not over till the checkered flag falls, should Carling have a problem, and that's what Jamieson would be hoping at the moment, that he can get back to that all-important second spot and maybe even take the lead, which would give him big points in the series and give him the chance to overhaul Kerry Bailey, the outright leader.
What sort of speeds will they be travelling down this home straight of these various vehicles?
They would certainly be looking at 200 kilometres an hour plus coming down here in these powerful cars. Some of them powered by the Chevy V8s, which was Kerry Bailey's, or we've got the big sixes or the little rotary engines winding it up, and once they get wound up down this Oran Park main straight, they are flying.
Ian Luff still on the circuit. He's in about 5th spot at the moment, Ian Luff, and Luffy's driving the Mazda RX-7. In fact, Luffy's in a Commodore, I beg your pardon, the white and yellow Commodore. The Mazda RX-7 is Bruce Banks' drive, but there is the leader at the moment, Keith Carling, and he's wheeling and dealing around the Oran Park circuit at the moment. We're just over halfway through this event, and Carling is really flying around the circuit, taking that corner nice and wide, then cutting back in. Des Wall is in 2nd spot. Barry Jamieson and David Attard, and Ian Luff is in 5th spot at the moment as they complete another lap. Des Wall in 2nd spot. 3rd spot is Barry Jamieson, and then we have in 49 David Attard, and behind him is Ian Luff in number 4, and further back in the field there, in fact, quite a gap there. The top 4 are miles in front. And there's Ian Luff right now. This is a lovely prepared vehicle, Ross.
Yeah, super looking car, and he too is well in contention in this series to put himself at least on the dais in the top 3 in the Sports Sedan Championship Series. Very, very nicely prepared car, and one of the consistent drivers, settles into a groove and wants to just make sure that consistency rewards him at the end of the series, and he may be rewarded at the end of the day today.
Well, the overcast conditions have come over, and this will be just having this cooling effect on the track at the moment. They are really speeding along, and I guess the weather is absolutely perfect. The conditions, Ross, are perfect for this type of racing.
Right at the moment, the guys have been loving this because the mix on the tyres, the mix of rubber would be now able to get a much better grip. Once it's too hot, the rubber solutions tend to get just a little too heated. They like this overcast type condition, and as you can see, Des Wall in car number 26 is now starting to make his move. We're into the back half of this car race, and it's not over yet because Keith Carling now under plenty of pressure from Des Wall.
Last lap board is out now, folks, and I tell you what, is Desi Wall going to take Keith Carling with a lap to go? It's going to be certainly interesting to see what Wall's going to do. He seems to be running out of horsepower a bit, Carling, but Wall is setting out after him now as they go down the left-hander at the bottom of the straight, and Des Wall is now setting it after Keith Carling. Has Carling got enough left? Well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. At this stage, these two cars are absolutely flying past the slower vehicles, and Wall is right up on him now.
Des Wall realises he only has about 200 metres left to get Keith Carling. A desperation move, I would think, in the final corner of this race. He closes ranks very quickly. Carling realises the pressure. He's got to keep cool. Des Wall making the dive at him as they come to the line. There'll be nothing in this. Carling in the big yellow beast manages to just grab the checker in front of Des Wall with the 45 car of Jamieson in third, and the 49 of David Addard finishing in fourth.
What an exciting race. Had the race been another lap longer, Wall would have taken it for sure, there's no question, because he was just running out of steam, wasn't he, Keith Carling? But to his credit, he's hung on and he's won it very well. Des Waller gallant in defeat, running second, but a great victory to Keith Carling in the Australian Sports Sedans Championship, and Keith Carling there in the Nissan 300ZX. Magnificent looking car, yellow, and he has won this event today and won it very, very handily. Congratulations to Keith Carling in number 14, the Nissan 300ZX.
Thanks, Nick. We're at event 4, the Bridgestone Challenge for the Sports Utes, and in grid position 1, 11, Jamie Blakey, 2, 72, Bruce Partington, 3, 30, Gavin Manning, 4, 17, Mark Griffith, 5, 71, Rob Brown, and 6, 8, Mike Lacey, and we're almost set for a start. These are the sports utes, the top 6 cars on the card, and they face the grid. Jamie Blakey, the man who has set pole with a qualifying time of 55.92, and right beside him, Bruce Partington in Sports Ute 72. He is the man who's going to try and charge at Jamie Blakey as they head into the first corner. Just seconds away from the start. Engines begin to rev, they begin to creep. Not a bad start either by both Blakey and Partington. Blakey on the inside in car 11, and on the outside Partington at a disadvantage going into this first corner because of his wide position on the track, and Blakey will take up the advantage. Gavin Manning moving up very quickly. He did well to move into second spot. That was a good start by Manning, and he's going to chase Blakey as they negotiate the first corner. Manning, the man to watch. He's making the early moves right in the first half of the race. Blakey realises that and is going for the gas and trying to open a break.
Wasn't a great start there from Gavin Manning, who slipped through in number 30, and it's a good shot there of the big crowd that's building up here too at Oran Park today for which will be a very, very exciting day. And I'm glad you're with us right now, enjoying the action right around the nation as we have a look at this very exciting event too. This is for the sports utes, and 55.92 was the time that Jamie Blakey qualified in, which was a second, in fact almost a second and a half quicker than Bruce Partington in 56.42. But these have been very, very popular, these sports utes, and this is the Bridgestone Challenge you're watching right now, with Blakey in front of Manning, Partington running into third spot.
Out very wide onto the track to set up for the aged corner, and the leader Jamie Blakey realises that Gavin Manning has made a very good start, and Manning now trying to apply the pressure to Blakey, because I think with the only 5-lap distance of this race that Manning knows, Blakey having set fast pace, if he can settle into a groove, will be a hard man to pass. So he has got to put the pressure early to Jamie Blakey. Partington has dropped off the pace just a little in third place, and waiting patiently behind them in car 17, Mark Griffith. If any of those leaders up the front make a mistake, he is ready to pounce.
You notice let's take that left-hander down near Shell Corner, nice and wide there, and a few of them are leaving the track there, but are able to stay on the track as they come down the home straight now. This race is over 5 laps, and it's still Blakey leading from Manning and Partington. You can see there the gap is about a car length between these 3 runners, and at this point Blakey is going along quite nicely and takes the left-hander at the bottom of the home straight. He leads by about a second or a little less than that over Gavin Manning, who made that magnificent start as you saw, and Bruce Partington in third spot. They tend to rock and roll a little bit around the circuit, these magnificent sports utes, but they are travelling quite quickly, and in fact as I speak now, Jamie Blakey opens up a gap over Gavin Manning.
This is the important part of the car race when you're racing over 5 laps, this mid-lap stage, because you can now either put yourself a break on the rest of the field, which is what Jamie Blakey's happening to be doing here, and this is because he's settled down into a really good groove so quickly in those opening couple of laps. Sure, Manning got away well, but Blakey has now settled down, keeping his coolness. Difficult to do when you're the front runner, to just keep you cool and have the rest of the pack chasing after you.
Well, Bruce Partington's going along quite well in third spot at the moment. He has Gavin Manning in front of him, and as you can see as they make their way towards the end of the home straight, you'll see that Bruce Partington will take Manning on the inside here, but Manning's holding his line there and did it pretty tough to get around Partington, who once again has the inside running, and I could see that developing, Ross. I could see Partington getting close to Manning, and he had him on the inside. If it didn't work once, it worked for the second time.
Here again, that important midsection of the race, Partington knows that if he's going to make a move, now's the time to do it. You can't leave it to the last lap, and he realises that Jamie Blakey with that handy lead is going to make it tough to pull back that distance. So Partington made the move on Manning. He got by him with a very good inside pass, but I think the break between he and Blakey is a little too great, only over a 5-lap sprint distance.
They're coming up to the last lap here now at Oran Park in the Bridgestone Challenge for the sports utes, and the last lap board is out in number 11. Jamie Blakely takes the last lap board. He leads from Bruce Partington in number 72. Then we have Gavin Manning in number 30, and behind him we have in number 17 Mark Griffith. But at this stage it is all Jamie Blakey. He has led a race from the beginning of the event and has led throughout, and at the moment going quite nicely. There is car number 72, which is Bruce Partington, or track number 72, and he's in second spot at the moment, setting out after Blakey, but it'll be all too late, I would imagine, unless Blakey has a problem, but I can't see it happening with only around about 3/4 of a lap to go.
It will be Jamie Blakey coming into the Yamaha dogleg for the last time. Gavin Manning's trying to make another dash at Bruce Partington for second and third placing. Blakey's got the checkered flag safely in his sights. Here's Manning making a dive on the inside of Partington as they come into the last corner, but Partington keeping it together will hold on to second place. The race winner, the car number 11, Jamie Blakey.
Crosses the line now in front of number 72, Partington, and 30 is Gavin Manning, and in fourth spot is Mark Griffith there. What was a very exciting and a well-driven race too from Jamie Blakely, and the sports utes, the Bridgestone Challenge, the winner there, number 11, Jamie Blakely. Race number 2, this is where they'll sort out the Australian Sports Sedans Championship for 1993. Kerry Bailey, Michael Caruso, Ian Luff. But let's go from pole. It's Keith Carling, Desi Wall, David Adhard, Barry Jamieson, Kerry Bailey, Ian Luff, Paul Barrett, Alfred Osisa, Bruce Banks, and Peter O'Brien as the green light goes through. And they are away now in the Australian Sports Sedan Championship, race number 2. And this will sort things out, Ross Allen, once and for all.
Well, Carling made a super start, but the guy to watch is the 45 car of Barry Jamieson, who has to stay well out and clear of the 49 car of David Adhard. And as you pointed out, Kerry Bailey back in this all-important race number 2 after suffering mechanical problems at the start of race 1 and taking no part.
Kerry Bailey's in a Toyota Supra Chef. It's a red car with number 1 written on the side, so it'll make it nice and clear for you to see which vehicle he's driving, and it'll be interesting to see exactly how he makes his way through the field after starting on number 5 on the grid. But right now, Keith Carling still leading, and leading quite comfortably. Desi Wall's away well, and I just noticed that Kerry Bailey is down the home straight, not far away in the red vehicle there at the bottom of his screen.
Sitting in 5th place at the moment, Kerry Bailey, so we do have to keep an eye on the 3 red cars in this top bunch of 5. Now, the yellow car for Keith Carling is the race leader. He won the opening round in today's racing. In 2nd place, the 45 of Barry Jamieson. He is in contention for the series. The 26 car of Des Wall running in 3rd place. 4th place, the other red car of David Adhard. And here, the number 1, Kerry Bailey, the defending champion, who had problems on the start grid in the first race, now finds himself in 5th spot and has a lot to do if he's going to keep himself in contention. But if he can at least stay on the tail of Adhard and Jamieson, it should give him enough space in the series to take it out.
Oh, how are they going to catch Keith Carling, Ross? He is really travelling well. He's handling it so well too. 10 laps, gone 2. I'm impressed with the way Barry Jamieson is driving. He's not far away from Carling, but Carling does so well when he's in front.
Good front runner, but Jamieson is going to really work away at him here. Jamieson wants the lead, he wants the big points, and then he will hope that the other drivers, like Keith Carling and Des Wall, can keep Kerry Bailey out of a top point-scoring position to at least give himself a shot at taking out the Australian Sports Sedan Championship.
Then down the home straight for the 4th time, and Carling leads. Keith Carling leads. He timed himself in qualifying 41.67, which was quicker than Desi Wall, who's running into a 2nd spot now as I speak. Des Wall got through Barry Jamieson there, so it's Wall now out after Carling.
Wall in the silver Toyota Supra in 2nd place. Jamieson won't like that because that puts him back down the point-scoring list. Adhard realises that he has a chance now, and he's right behind Jamieson. And Kerry Bailey, the number 1, just cannot pick up this top bunch of cars at the moment. Race being led by the yellow devil of Keith Carling. He leads away from Des Wall. Coming through on the inside, Jamieson looks to try and get back at Wall. Watch this battle down Main straightaway. Carling leading. Jamieson and Wall charging into this corner. Here's Jamieson going up on the inside. Wall's trapped high on the outside of the apex of the corner, and this should allow Jamieson to come through and sneak second spot. And will Attard get through as well? No, he does not quite make it, and he's back in 4th place.
Okay, the race continues there with Keith Carling leading, and leading quite comfortably too. As I said, he's not bad in front. He's producing a very good effort so far. In 2nd spot, Barry Jamieson, and then we have the guy that I thought might race a little bit better, Kerry Barty. He must be having mechanical problems. He's well back from the main part of the leading division of the field. Desi Wall's running into 3rd spot, but as I speak, making up a bit more ground is Kerry Barty. But Keith Carling leads, and I think that Bailey now, Ross, is starting to get some sort of momentum happening. He's at the tail of that field there in the Supra there, but he's starting to pick up some ground.
At midpoint of the race, this is where guys with the experience like Kerry Bailey, the defending champion, start to make their moves. They know that this race leader, Keith Carling, as we've pointed out, is a very, very good front runner. He drives a tough line on the racetrack. He gives you very little room to get by, and Barry Jamieson is experiencing that just at the moment. He's in 2nd place. He cannot get the whole shot on Keith Carling that he wants to get the lead away. Look at him switch the tail of that red car, number 45, in an effort to get by race leader Keith Carling.
Well, it's a pressure cooker situation up front at the moment there with these 4 cars flashing down the home straight. Desi Wall's got into 2nd spot now, out wide now. Just keep your eye on that car that's at the tail of the field there, Kerry Bailey. He is moving through, but Carling still leads from Wall. Getting through there on the inside there is Barry Jamieson, but a nice bit of driving from Wall on that occasion to take that corner.
Wall holds down 2nd place, and these 2 guys in front who aren't really contesting the outright series could actually decide it, because they, depending on finishing 1st and 2nd, will at least give Kerry Bailey the opportunity of staying outright points leader. 5 cars battling it out as they come through the Yamaha dogleg into Goodyear corner and down Main straightaway. The yellow car of Keith Carling has the lead. Des Wall is running 2nd. Barry Jamieson is 3rd. Oh, a bump with the wall there for Attard. Did he contact the concrete wall? I think he did. That might not do his chances any good over the last couple of laps, and Kerry Bailey might get an opportunity to grab some more ground.
Desi Wall now slipping into 2nd spot now and heading for the chase after Carling at the moment, but Keith Carling still in front and driving a good pace race at the moment. Des Wall 2nd, and then Barry Jamieson in 3rd spot as the cars make their way to the back of the circuit. I'm just keeping an eye too on Kerry Bailey. Bailey has now got to within striking distance of the 4th place car, and he's only around about 5 or a little less than that, about 3 seconds from the leader at the present time.
This is desperation stakes time now, Nick. I think we must be into the last couple of laps of this car race. There would not be much time left, and look at these 4 cars nose to tail as they thunder down Oran Park straight, and Keith Carling has the lead. Des Wall is in 2nd. Barry Jamieson looking for that inside pass again. Attard tries to make the dive at him on the outside in car 49. Got out very, very wide and lost some ground there. He'll have to do it all over again to pinch back the ground that he lost to Jamieson in 3rd place. Attard and Jamieson. Now Bailey, is he still in contact with that group of cars? Yes, he is. He's in 5th place, but he's starting to lose a little bit of ground. Maybe he might be in trouble, but I think with only a few laps left to go, he will at least get to the checker.
Okay, Keith Carling coming up with the last lap board, about to appear now down the home straight, and Keith Carling, he'll try to get around this circuit as quick as he possibly can from Des Wall, and Des Wall there you can see in 2nd position. Barry Jamieson is there, and also hooking through is Attard, but nice bit of driving there from David Attard. Oh, Attard's put it into a spin there at the bottom of the home straight, Ross Allen. That puts him out of business.
Well, from 2nd place to nowhere, 0 to 0 for David Attard, and this leaves Keith Carling out in front. Jamieson says thank you very much, and that puts him in a good spot. 3rd place to Des Wall.
Well, if what's his name, Kerry Barty had made up some ground, he could have got 3rd points.
Well, he may have been able to do that, but I think he knows that if he can sit in that spot, he might win the series. Here comes the checkered flag.
Okay, it comes out now for Keith Carling driving car number 14. He's first home, and congratulations to Keith Carling. 2nd up in 45 was Barry Jamieson, and 3rd in 26, Des Wall. That's the way they finished there in the Australian Sports Sedan Championship for 1993. Let's take a look at the replay now of what happened here to Attard. He slipped through on the inside, overdrive he goes, and Ross Allen puts it into the spin.
Yes, he just had too much drive, lost the back end of the car, slithered around on him, and all he could do was keep out of the way of other cars and keep himself and watch his championship chances go up in smoke.
Okay, let's join the presentation now of the Australian Sports Sedan Championship for 1993.
In first place, was Keith Carlin. Congratulations, Keith. It's a bit of a time since you've been to Oran Park, and it's pleasing to note you come back to vengeance, and it's great to note the reliability of the cars back there.
Yeah, thanks, Mel. The credit all goes to my crew, Ian Richardson and Greg Maher and Phil Ryle. They've done a lot of work since the IndyCar race, which is the last event we ran in, and totally rebuilt the car and done a lot of little modifications. And so we're on the pace, and we've got a bit left in it yet, I think, so I'm very happy.
Congratulations. You also won the first race too, didn't you, Keith? Congratulations. And I noticed you're only going to repeat the same thing, so thank you.
Race number 2 and the Australian Truck Racing Championship comes down to this one here, folks. Let's take a look at the starters from grid. Rob Russell, Rodney Crick in number 7, Frank Gaffiro, Paul Freestone in the big black truck, the mobile entry number 60, Albert Siders in position 5, Michael Russell, then we have Joe Sultana, Jerry Bajima, Darren Hardy and Bill Siders making up the top 10. It should be a great race. Rob Russell has pole. Rodney Crick won't be giving anything away. Frank Gaffiro, who's been so competitive in this series so far, they'll be sorting themselves out early in this one, and I can tell you one thing, that there's going to be some real action as they go past the judge the first time. I'm sure that there's going to be, at the end of the home straight, a real dice on. Ross Allen has joined me, and Ross, this will be something really exciting when these trucks really mean business today.
Well, Rob Russell got away to a super start in race number 1. He has Rodney Crick right beside him here in race number 2. The interesting move, Frank Gaffiro sitting in position 3, and beside him Paul Freestone. The top 3 trucks that we look for to decide this overall series, the 40 of Rob Russell, 7 Rod Crick, the 64 Freestone, and the first corner could be mayhem.
Here we go, folks. We're just waiting for the green light to go through and the pace car to lead them. Green light is on now, and we are away. Here they go, folks. Robbie Russell on the inside and Rodney Crick both got away well. In fact, all starters have got off the start-finish line okay. Rob Russell holding the inside line ahead of Rodney Crick, who really wants to push it up early in this race. Rodney Crick going out deep from Robbie Russell. Russell holding his line. Freestone's in behind them, then followed by Frank Gaffiro, who's there. But as they get out of that first turn, Rodney Crick on the inside of Rob Russell. It's been a great duel early here. Russell still trying to hold on. Freestone's behind them in third spot. Crick not giving an inch away from Russell. Russell has the inside. Crick still out wide. It's nip and tuck all the way. Crick just goes off the circuit for a moment. Freestone and Gaffiro are behind those, but Rob Russell takes the early lead, and he stays off that early challenge from Rodney Crick, and a great bit of driving from Robbie Russell.
Through Goodyear Corner for the very first time, and down Main straightaway, Rob Russell under enormous pressure at the moment from Rod Crick and Paul Freestone. He has the foot tramped flat to the floor, and he's going to try and stay right in touch with race leaders Rob Russell and Rod Crick. Freestone is not going to give them any room to move at all here. In fact, Frank Gaffiro, who did so well in the previous race, finds himself already staying to lose touch with the big 3. Rob Russell, Rod Crick and Paul Freestone.
There's Robbie Russell right now, and he's wheeling and dealing in front there, as he did in the first of the races. And Rob Russell leading by about 2 truck lengths now on Rodney Crick, and a further 2 truck lengths back to Paul Freestone. Then we have Frank Gaffiro and the Siders brothers are next, including Albert Siders, and also there's another Siders there, Billy Siders, that's right, and they are running behind each other there.
Sorting themselves out after the first couple of laps, and this is the settle it down stage. Tactics will now start to come into play. You can just imagine Rod Crick and Paul Freestone sitting in the cabins of the truck. What are they thinking? They know Rob Russell has got the lead. Where will we make our move? Do we settle down and just take our time for a couple of laps, or are we going to serve it right up to Rob Russell all the way?
Okay, so there you can see number 6. Albert Siders, just in behind him is Bill Siders. So Bill Siders has certainly made up some great territory. He started 10th on the grid and is now up into about 5th or 6th spot. Right now there's your race leader, Rob Russell, who's wheeling and dealing in front and still going quite smoothly. Rodney Crick is about 5 truck lengths behind him, and a further 3 or 4 back to Paul Freestone. They've actually gapped the Siders brothers, and Frank Gaffiro has really dropped out of the race now. He's going very, very slowly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something wrong with Frank Gaffiro's truck number 54. We'll pick that up in just a few moments. But right now, as they turn to the left-hander, in fact, tipping Frank Gaffiro's out of this race, he's slowing right down, and we'll see whether he can grab number 54 as they make their way into the home straight.
The brains trusts start to work overtime now. The 2 Siders battle it out. Car in trouble is Frank Gaffiro. He's dropping right back through the the pack. Gaffiro has a problem in the big 54. And that's bad luck for Gaffiro, who did so well in race number 1, dropping out of the calculations. Rob Russell, black and green truck 40, leading from Rod Crick in the blue number 7 and the black number 60 of Paul Freestone. They are the top 3 in this race, and just at the moment they're settling down. There's a little bit of cat and mouse going on here. I think we might find Crick and Freestone saving their run for the last couple of laps of this 12-lap championship decider.
Well, it's about where you're looking at it right now that Crick will make up some ground on Russell if he's going to make up on any. Speaking to Rob Russell at the end of the first race, and he was saying that Crick was picking him up on brakes around that corner there. The same thing will develop in this race too as the race progresses. We've gone 4 laps, and Rob Russell is comfortably holding Crick at the moment, but I know that Crick is certainly going to make up some ground in the last 3 or 4 laps on him around that corner under brakes.
Notice Rob Russell coming down main straightaway at Oran Park, having a look in both mirrors. He's a little anxious. He knows that the pressure is on him, and as we've pointed out many times today, it is very difficult to drive from the front of a car race. You just have to keep you cool. You've got to settle into a pattern. You're not quite sure whether trucks are making ground on you or whether they're losing ground, whether you've got the right line or whether you haven't. You've just got to keep it cool. Rely on your pit crew when you come back down main straightaway to get the right signals from them, and everything seems to be falling into place for Rob Russell at the moment, because try as Rod Crick may, he doesn't seem to be able to make any impression. Now just watch him. Look at him looking at the mirrors. Out on the left-hand side. Where are they? What can I do? The pressure's on. Here comes Rod Crick charging at him in the blue number 7.
Slipping up on the inside, and they're at the end of the home straight here now. You'll find that Russell will take the corner quite well, and then Crick will go around. There's Paul Freestone. And Freestone working the big mobile entry around that corner there at the end of the home straight. But Rob Russell leads quite comfortably now from Rodney Crick. He won't give up. There's no question about that. Crick will certainly be chasing Russell, and he'll make some ground up within the next half lap or so, Rodney Crick, under brakes.
Rob Russell leading, has a very handy brake at the moment. Just 15 or 20 metres can mean so much in racing of this standard. These are the top boys, and once you can establish just a little bit of a break, it's very hard to peg back. Rob Russell enjoying that advantage as they come through the Goodyear sweeper and into main straight. Paul Freestone seems to be dropping off the paces. We've got a truck in trouble leaving the circuit, but everything A-OK, no real damage done, but a cloud of smoke might end the race.
Jerry Bajima there too, I think in number 22 there, who's off the circuit there. Jerry Bajima, we'll double check on that in just a moment. There's Rob Russell, the race leader, going along quite comfortably now, leading from Rodney Crick, and then Paul Freestone in third spot there. But Rob Russell doing it nicely out in front. He likes to drive from in front. That'll be the tactics for him, just to stay there and keep Rodney Crick in his revision mirror and make sure he's enough distance away to take out the championship. Now the gap back to fourth from Paul Freestone there. There's Paul going around now, and you can see it's a mighty gap back to fourth. This will be Albert Siders in number 6, running in fourth spot, and he is quite some distance away there from Paul Freestone there. So the top 3 trucks have it between themselves at the moment.
Dominant drivers certainly in this championship series, Russell, Crick and Freestone, and they're showing everybody just why they have dominated this series coming into today's grand final. Rob Russell, Rodney Crick and Paul Freestone way out in front of this driver, Albert Siders, who was sitting in fourth place. Now, if there was a little bit of a brake locking up early going into that corner, maybe an indication that Rob Russell is starting to get a little panicky. He knows that he's getting towards the back end of the truck race, and he knows that Rod Crick is still within striking distance of him, and now maybe 1 or 2 chinks in the armour starting to appear.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure that Rodney Crick will start to make up some ground. There's Frank Amorosso's truck, which has been beaten up and badly bashed. That went into the wall about in the last race. They're no racing without a bonnet on this occasion, so there's no doubt, Ross, that that'll certainly keep the engine nice and cool.
They worked very, very hard on that in the pits during the break between races, and they were desperate to get back onto the racetrack. So a big effort by the pit crew to get Amoroso back on the Oran Park Raceway.
Rodney Crick's picked up a little bit now on Rob Russell. He has certainly picked up down the home straight. Now he's going to pull out wide and see what sort of territory he can gain on Rob Russell. But Russell, once again, holding his line well. Rodney Crick getting a lot closer now. And I'm predicting, oh, there goes Paul Freestone taking a little bit of the dirt and turf with him as he gets back onto the circuit there. Thank heavens for Freestone that Siders wasn't travelling through as quick as he could have been, because there could have been some drama there with all that dust. You're not able to see much, but that gap that we showed you earlier on between third and fourth was plenty. So no problems there for Freestone, but certainly Crick, this is where he's going to make a bit of a rush up on Rob Russell. Under brakes here, and he'll get fairly close here, you'll notice.
That mistake by Freestone has left this as a race in 2. Rob Russell, 40 versus Rod Crick, 7. Down main straightaway. The laps are running out for Crick. He's got some work to do, but he may have enough laps left up his sleeve to make an impression. Plenty of infield dust starting to build up, and that's going to make it difficult for a race leader like Rob Russell to keep his concentration, and Rod Crick might play on that. He might try to take advantage of any opportunity he can to use the racetrack, to use the conditions to gain ground on race leader Rob Russell.
Well, you can see there it's very hard to get a clear picture through, folks, because of the fact that there's so much dust on the track, and Paul Freestone, and you can thank him for that because he went off the circuit there, and that really kicked up plenty. But Rob Russell still leading from Rodney Crick, who's really trying so hard now to get into the sights of Robbie Russell. Get past him. Paul Freestone has slowed right up. He's no good thing now. He's gone. But Rob Russell now has got a revision mirror full of Rodney Crick right behind him as they turn into the straight now, and there's still a couple of laps remaining here, so Rob Russell wants to try and hold on to the next 2 or 3 laps. Rodney Crick just lagging a fraction behind. I reckon that might have been just a slower lap for him then than the one previous, but there might be some slow traffic now that might hinder Rob Russell, and he's a bit of a problem there with Wilmington coming through and going out wide, which might have just hindered Rodney Crick a fraction.
Yeah, traffic could play an important role in this the concluding laps of the race, with Rob Russell now trapped in just a little bit by one of the slower vehicles. Got round the outside. Rodney Crick took advantage of that and has closed ranks.
He's right up on him now, Ross.
Very quickly, he certainly has. He's closed ranks very quickly, using the slower traffic to his advantage. And this Yamaha dogleg is a section he likes. There's a slow car in front of them. Is he going to try and dive through on the inside on the grass? Rodney Crick now in the Volvo, making the throw at the big Kenworth of Rob Russell.
That's the closest he's been all race. Rodney Crick really working hard. You can see him in the cabin there, just keeping it low, and he's really working hard on Rob Russell. And I'm predicting that with this 1 lap to go here now, that if there is a clear run through for Rodney Crick, he might just be able to pick up the Scarcella Russell entry there. Rodney Crick now down the home straight for the final time. He's just in behind Rob Russell, who's driven such a great race. He's still in front, Rob Russell. Crick throwing everything into it. He wheels around that left-hander at the bottom of the home straight. He's chasing Rob Russell right now. This is pretty exciting stuff. There's only 3/4 of a lap to remain. Rob Russell trying to get away from Rodney Crick because he knows under brakes Crick will probably get him around the corner. But at this stage, it's still Rob Russell leading. Crick just starting to pick him up a little bit now. Rob Russell putting it down to the floor now as they go past the Yamaha dogleg. There's only less than half a lap to go. This is Crick's last chance. He puts it sideways. He's now really chasing. Crick trying to get up on the inside of Russell. Russell's out wide. There's the Dane entry off the track. Crick and Russell. Russell still in front down the home straight. Oh, congratulations to Rob Russell as he takes the checkered flag from Rodney Crick running second, and a long, long way back. It'll be 3rd spot to Albert Siders, I would think, in truck number 6, or would it be number 60? We'll check 3rd for you in a moment, but what a great ride and what a great drive. He really rode it too. Number 60, Paul Freestone, will run into 3rd spot there, but Ross, you've got to give it to Rob Russell. He's a top front runner, and he did everything he possibly could to stay away from Crick.
Great front-running drive by Rob Russell under plenty of pressure, and an unforeseen mishap right in that last corner that could have changed the outcome of the race. There's the truck of Dane that was involved in that incident in the Goodyear sweeper coming into main straightaway. What a position to hit the concrete wall, and at a vital stage when we had Rob Russell and Rod Crick fighting it to the checkered flag.
Well, Rob Russell returning there, and there he's shaking hands with Rodney Crick, and what a great performance it was from both of these drivers. It was hell all the way, really, and you can see the big smile over there on Rob Russell's face. Ross Allen, he'd be pretty happy with that because he had Crick in his revision mirror all that way.
Very good performance on the grand final day to take out both of the final series races. But Rod Crick was the man who I think the fans were cheering on to try and upset Rob Russell, but he was unable to do so. And that's the camaraderie that exists in motorsport. Both guys can share a laugh at the end of the race.
And, of course, in first place is the popular win, Robbie Russell. Congratulations, Robbie. Come on. On behalf of Valvoline, there's something else to adorn the trophy case. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Mal. Thanks to Oran Park, and thanks to Valvoline for sponsoring this event. Congratulations to Rodney and Paul. We've probably between the 3 of us, and probably include Frank Gaffiro, the 4 trucks have been that close all this year. it's nearly a lucky dip who can come out in front, and we were lucky today. Something else about being lucky, I think I'm the lucky one in our team. I'm the lucky one that gets to sit in the seat and stand up here, but there should be 5 of us up here, really. It's Charlie, Joe, John and Pete. That's the big reason, the reason why that SRZ truck goes, and she's a rocket. To our sponsors, we've even got a couple of them here today, Ron and Rob O'Brien. Great guys, thanks very much. Frank's Body Shop, Penrite Oil, and Donnie from Southwest Ring Tread. He's a big help to us too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes the series for 1993, the grand final. More than likely will go to Rob Russell. There is a protest pending, Ross Allen, but more than likely, after that's heard, Rob Russell will take out the prize.
Well, I guess he'll be hoping that it'll be thrown out the window, because if anyone deserves victory in the overall series, it is Rob Russell.
Plenty of exciting racing, I'm sure you'll agree, and I hope you've enjoyed our coverage from Oran Park. Once again, repeating that Rob Russell, more than likely, pending this protest, will take out the championship, the Valvoline 1993 grand final for truck racing around Australia. On behalf of Ross Allen, I'm Nick Roven. Goodbye for now.